Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Playoff baseball coming up here on ESPN Radio. First at 4:30 Eastern, coverage of Game 5 in the NLCS. The Dodgers leading the Mets 3-1. Then at 7:30 Eastern, we'll have Game 4 in the ALCS. The Yankees leading the Guardians 2-1, but it's Cleveland coming off an electrifying win in Game 3. Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge.
Loss is a loss. If we would have got blown out here, it's the same as that, same results. It's 2-1 now, so can't dwell on it, can't mope, can't hang our head. We still got a lot of ball games to play, so refocus and get ready for the next game.
Aaron Judge. Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson will start Sunday's game against the Dolphins. He's missed the last two with an oblique injury. Browns leading running back Jerome Ford is out for Sunday's game against the Bengals with a sore hamstring. Nick Chubb will make his season debut for Cleveland, coming back from a severe left knee injury in September of last year.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. His teammates think Lamar Jackson could win MVP, but I'll tell you why I agree with them. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Phil Steele in 15 minutes. Theriot next hour. We got our Pick'em segment. Ton to do. A Football Friday AFR. Let's go.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Stidham takes the knee, and that'll be it. Sean Payton will come across to say hello to Dennis Allen. The two have been friends for many, many years. And the Saints will have to regroup after their fifth straight loss. Tough one tonight here at Caesars Superdome. 33-10 is your final. Back after this.
Tough is one way to put it, Mike. A lot of adjectives you could use. Saints lose 33-10, their fifth straight loss. They're 2-5 now. But that doesn't really matter, right?
One of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
Yeah. 33-10. You look beyond the results. That's what good organizations do.
One of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
In 15 years, Sean Payton lost at home by 20 points or more twice. Dennis Allen has done it twice in 5 days.
One of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
there's a place kicker that you cut who outscored your entire team last night.
One of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
New Orleans has now lost 6 straight primetime games at home. But that doesn't really matter because
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
The Saints are 1 game away from tying the franchise record for consecutive games allowing 25 points or more. But as we all know, that doesn't really matter because
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
First time since 2012, Saints defense has allowed multiple 220 rush yard games. They just happen to do it in back-to-back games. But we should not pay attention to that because
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
Denver set a season high yards after contact. 132 yards after contact for Denver offensive players. Don't you even think about worrying about that because
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
Dennis Allen now 18-23 in his career with the New Orleans Saints. But we shouldn't think about that because
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
Allen, by the way, is 26-51 in his head coaching career. But don't pay that any mind because, as we all know,
one of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
They're going to put that on his tombstone. When that man's time is done in New Orleans, I'm talking about Mickey Loomis at this point, not Dennis Allen, because he's already dead man walking. They're going to put that on Mickey Loomis's tombstone. One more time for those who might have missed it.
One of the things that good organizations do, man, you look beyond the results.
That's interesting, Mickey, because right now you're not a good organization. You're a bad team. You're poorly coached. Your front office is poorly run. You don't draft well. There's quite honestly nothing that this organization does well. You're not a good organization. I don't have much to say about this game, y'all. I mean, were there any positives? Our guy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net, when he writes the game story, it's funny. It's like I was staying up to proof and edit it before it was published. It was about 12:30. 1 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around then. And Ross is writing in the Google Drive, so I can see him as he's writing it as we're making our way through it. And the way that it's laid out, it's like in these sections, the games, or I'm sorry, the big plays, the moments, the statistics sort of thing. Here it is. It's laid out, the plays, the injuries, the stats, sort of these 3 bullet point columns. And he's sitting there writing it, and it's there at the end of the regulation. Just late groupie field goal, question mark, was the only thing he had in there. Thankfully, Jake Haener completed a garbage time touchdown pass to Cedric Wilson. So there was something else to write in there. If you want to talk about the game itself, I mean, the only moment that really mattered, it was the end of the first half. It's 13-3 Denver. Bo Nix throws the ball right into Tyrann Mathieu's breadbasket that he dropped. I mean, that was gift wrap for the Honey Badgers. Couldn't bring it in. Instead of the Saints maybe getting points there before half, making it a 1-score game potentially, Denver kicked a field goal to go up 16-3, and they never looked back. It wouldn't have mattered. We're going to talk a lot about injuries, and the injuries suck, y'all. I mean, You didn't have Derek Carr. You didn't have Taysom Hill. You didn't have 3 offensive linemen. You didn't have your top 2 receivers. I get that. It's a reason why the Saints were a home underdog in this game. I don't think many people, I didn't expect the Saints to win the game, and the total was 37. No one was expecting these offenses to move the football because 2 good defenses and 2 not very good offenses. But that's no excuse for the defensive performance, and that's what I'm going to hammer as consistently my biggest issue here. You still got Cam Jordan. You still got Carl Granderson. You've still got Chase Young. You've still got Brian Brzee. You've still got Willie Gay. Tyrann Mathieu is out there. Marshawn Lattimore. Alontae Taylor. Paulson Adebo is out there. He broke his femur, and that's terrible, and I'm sick for him. That absolutely sucks. Another injury. But you have a whole bunch of dudes out there that are starting caliber players in the NFL that were awful for the second consecutive week. That's 2 weeks in a row now where you've allowed 200 rushing yards in a game. That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week after you missed 15 tackles, which was a season high. Oh, your missed tackles were lower, but as I just told you, the yards after contact, 132 for Denver. You didn't want to bring nobody to the ground. It's inexcusable. This is Dennis Allen's calling card, is the defense. I mean, I'll remind you, a couple of years ago, the Saints went to Tampa and won a game where they scored 9 points because the defense was great. And Dennis Allen, in his career, has been a really good defensive coordinator, and you still have good defensive players on this team. You just don't have anybody that's trying. And I'm very hesitant to throw around words like quit or try or giving up or any of that sort of stuff because that's impossible for anyone outside of that locker room to know for certain. But, boy, that's a team that certainly looks like it's not playing with an ounce of pride right now. And that is really hard to watch. And that's when a coach has lost his team. You know, back in 2015, whenever they fired Rob Ryan, if you remember, he had the awful season in 2012, the worst defense ever. Literally gave up more yards than any defense in the history of the NFL. They move on from Steve Spagnuolo after the Bounty Gate year. They bring in Rob Ryan. They were great in 13. And then it started to wane in 14 and 15. It got really bad. In 15, they became the first team in NFL history to allow 4 touchdowns and no interceptions 4 consecutive weeks to quarterbacks. And then ultimately they fired Rob Ryan after the 47-14 loss to Washington. They gave up 200 rush yards that day. And shortly thereafter, when Dennis Allen became the defensive coordinator, they started a streak where the Saints went an NFL record 55 games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. Think about the great defense. Steele, Curtin, the Ravens, the 2000s. All the great defenses in the history of the league. The Purple People Eaters and the New Orleans Saints in that stretch from 17 to 2000 didn't allow a single 100-yard rusher for 55 consecutive games. I think it was Jalen Hurts who finally broke that streak. But anyway, you got to a point with Rob Ryan where you realized it wasn't going to get better, and you're at that point now with Dennis Allen. It's not going to get better. You can get healthier on offense, and you may be a little more competitive because you got some players back, but this isn't going to get better. The plug has been pulled. It's just a matter of when this thing flatlines with the New Orleans Saints. So do you play out the string the rest of the year and fire him after the season? Do you fire him now and you give an audition to Clint Kubiak or Joe Woods or somebody like that? Maybe that's the way to go. They can make those decisions internally. But what is so abundantly clear is the one thing that Dennis Allen could hang his hat on, his defense, is now the reason you're losing. And that is really difficult to watch. And it's back-to-back weeks now that they have been not only bad, but embarrassing. It's the National Football League. We keep score. And it's really tough to win in this league. But ultimately, they know what they signed up for. And they're at the end with Dennis Allen. And it's somewhat fitting that it's Sean Payton that ultimately delivered this final blow. Almost kind of how Vader strikes down Obi-Wan, but that's Star Wars reference for you. The only difference is I don't think there's a Luke that's going to be empowered by it. Saints have a long way to go to rebuild. And that last night on prime time might have been the final blow delivered by your former coach. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, official beer of the Saints, official beer of the Tigers, and our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Awesome, man. Love our partnership here. Y'all know a week from Sunday, you'll actually have something successful in the Dome. Taylor Swift will be doing a 3-night show on the Eras Tour, And our friends over at Mockler Beverage, they have a suite in the Dome, and they are giving us a pair of suite tickets for the show on Sunday to give away to our audience. So if you're interested in going, go to 1045ESPN.com. You can enter to win. By the way, just to be very clear, everyone who attends must be 21. So to enter, you must be 21. Your guest must be 21. No exceptions. They do check IDs at the suite. I mean, this is an adult beverage company. So no one under 21 allowed in the suite. And the tickets are non-transferable. But these are suite tickets to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour 1 week from Sunday. If you want to enter, it's free to enter. Just go to 1045ESPN.com. You can enter right there on the homepage. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele previewing the biggest games of the football weekend next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel. Tigers are on the road, so they won't be at the Renaissance this weekend. Great opportunity maybe for you to get by. Go hang out at Tallulah. You're knocking off of work. Swing on in right there on Bluebonnet. You can go hang out. And with the weather as beautiful as it is right now, y'all, oh my goodness. Tallulah has this indoor-outdoor flow in the restaurant and bar. You can dine inside or outside. If maybe you just want a glass of wine or a cocktail, maybe a charcuterie board, something like that, they have this really awesome semicircle bar top by this fire pit, water with like fire in it and flames. Great ambiance to have a cocktail on a Friday night. If you want to go enjoy this beautiful weather, there's a video of it right there if you're watching. Anyway, it's right there at Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. It's not a hotel restaurant or a hotel bar. This is an upscale, a casual upscale dining experience right there in the Renaissance on Bluebonnet, of course, across from Perkins Row in the Mall of Louisiana. Check them out today. The Watermark Downtown or the Renaissance on Bluebonnet.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Football Friday. We do it every Friday. Phil Steele joins us, preview the biggest games of the college football weekend here for a couple of segments. Phil, great to have you as always. How are you?
I am doing well, Matt. How about yourself?
We're doing great. Tigers get a big win. Playoff hopes very much alive, but a scary one in Fayetteville. We'll get to that. Let's start with tonight, Phil. A couple of really interesting Friday night matchups. And we've got to start with the one in the Big Ten with Oregon. Emotional win, now going on the road to Purdue. We talked last week about teams in the Big Ten traveling multiple time zones. Well, here you have it. A short week, emotional letdown spot for Oregon, but Purdue's awful. Oregon's a 29.5-point favorite in this game. Maybe the right draw to go on the road. But what do you think? Oregon, any trouble there in West Lafayette?
As far as winning the game straight up, I don't think there's any trouble. Oregon's clearly the far better team. And, Matt, if you played this one at a neutral field, just in a regular week of the season, not off of Ohio State, I see Oregon would have the chance to blow them out. But a couple of things have me actually lining up with Purdue plus the points in this one. First of all, they showed a little life last week with Ryan Brown at quarterback. Now, granted, they trailed Illinois 27-3, but they did put up 46 points in the second half of that, or after halftime in that game, and Ryan Brown looked pretty good. And then I go back to Oregon. They're usually a team that crushes opponents, but UCLA, they gave up that interception return before the half. They should have been up 35-3. They were up 28-10, and then only scored 6 points in the second half. Michigan State got up 31-0. Then gave up 10 garbage points at the end, didn't cover that one. Now here they are off Ohio State, traveling across the country on a short week against a Purdue team that's pretty fired up after almost upsetting a ranked team in Illinois last week. I got to take Purdue plus the points, but I think Oregon wins the game comfortably, probably by 2 to 3 touchdowns.
What about in the Big 12 with Oklahoma State at BYU? You've told us how tough it is to play in Provo. Weird things happen up in the mountains. BYU is undefeated, 6-0, ranked 13th in the country. They're an 8.5-point favorite.
Yeah, and this is a team that's just gaining confidence by the week, Matt. BYU started out the year with low expectations, but now they're getting their running backs healthy, which, at the start of the year they were missing their top 3 or 4 running backs, and they're taking on a run defense that's giving up 235 yards per game on the ground. 5.5 yards per carry. And, go back and look at Oklahoma State's games. They probably should have lost big to Arkansas. It's a game they were outgained by 263 yards. They trailed Utah 22-3, got 2 garbage touchdowns. Trailed Kansas big, got a garbage touchdown. Trailed West Virginia 38-7, got a garbage touchdown. Even with those 4 garbage touchdowns the last 3 weeks, they're being outgained by massive amounts of yards. So I think BYU's the confident team at home in altitude for a third straight week, taking on a beleaguered Oklahoma State team, and they've proven the recipe for stopping Oklahoma State. Stop Ollie Gordon. If you stop Ollie Gordon, you stop them, and I got to take BYU minus the points there.
Let's jump into Saturday morning. Miami's at Louisville. Canes have had a couple of close calls, but they're still undefeated, 6-0. Now they're on the road against a really good Louisville team at 4-2. Miami's a 5-point road favorite here. Phil, do the Canes go to 7-0?
Yeah, I think we see the best Miami, Florida team this year yet. You go back to the Virginia Tech game; they needed that big they needed that not to have that Hail Mary go right, which worked out for them, and then the big comeback against Cal. But they're off a bye week. Cam Ward should be able to have good success against a Louisville pass defense that's given up a bunch of yards. And when you look at Louisville's last 4 games, go back to the Georgia Tech game. I thought Georgia Tech was a better team. They had a defensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, helped them pull that one out. They were down by 14 to Notre Dame, lost at home to SMU, and even last week needed a late touchdown to get past Virginia. I think Miami's a legitimate ACC contender. I don't think Louisville is. I like Miami minus the 5 on the road.
Phil Steele's with us. Get him on Twitter at PhilSteele042. You can go to PhilSteele.com. Find the link there for the Phil Steele Plus Tour. So Miami there, another undefeated team, surprisingly undefeated team is Indiana, also undefeated. They're at home against Nebraska, Matt Rule's team coming in. Indiana, 6.5-point home favorite, but you got to like how much better Nebraska's playing year 2 under Matt Rule. Can the Huskers go in there at 11 a.m. on Fox and give the Hoosiers a game?
I think it will be a game, a really good game. I'm going to call this one of those popcorn games where I'm just going to sit back and watch because I don't want to go against Indiana. They've been my money machine here at the start of the season, just constantly winning and covering, I might say. And they're doing a really good job under Cignetti. But you go to Nebraska, you look at that defense. That is a nasty defense. Hutmaker and company up front on the defensive line, holding opponents to 116 yards per game below their season average. And Dylan Raiola's had good moments this year. He's had a couple of freshman moments, but he looks pretty good, hitting 67% with a 9-3 ratio on some solid running backs. I think it's going to be a great game. We're going to find out which one of these two teams vaults into the upper part of the Big Ten, and a great game to watch.
You're going to have to make sense of this one for me, Phil. Auburn's at Missouri. Missouri's coming off a bye. We know they got walloped by Texas A&M in College Station 2 weeks ago. But here's Auburn, 2-4, can't get out of their own way. Missouri's just a 4-point home favorite. I don't know, Phil. If there's ever a stinky line, that one kind of feels like it's it. So let me know what you think about Auburn heading to Missouri in a battle of the Tigers.
Yeah, and this is a game where it's going to depend on turnovers. You look at Auburn this year, despite their record, they are actually plus 81 yards per game in SEC play. And they've taken on Georgia and Oklahoma, but the turnovers have done them in. You take a look at Missouri, and they've played 2 SEC games so far. They're minus 70 yards in SEC play. Almost got beat by Vanderbilt at home. So I understand the line in that respect. If you're betting Missouri, you just got to hope that Auburn continues to give the ball away like they have. And if you're betting Auburn, you got to hope that you don't give the ball away like they have. But I lean with Missouri at home in this one. I think we will see Auburn go ahead and make the mistakes that they've been making. But it's a dangerous game for Missouri.
Another undefeated team, Phil, is Army, which it's one of the Army and A, both among the feel-good stories in college football. Sure. But it's not just a feel-good story. Like they're legitimate, and they're housing teams. They're at home against East Carolina. Army's trying to move to 7-0. They're a 16.5-point favorite. A big number. And, Phil, maybe part of me just waiting to see the sort of the chink in the armor, so to speak. But it doesn't seem like it's there for the Black Knights right now. They keep it rolling?
I think they win, but I think East Carolina can keep it closer than expected. Now, I know East Carolina is really poor in their last game. They went to Charlotte and got blown out. But prior to that, they've been playing really good. They beat UTSA. Liberty is a game where they went on the road against a very good Liberty team, an undefeated Liberty team, and had a big lead in that game, ended up blowing it, and then gave up a late score, which made the final score deceptive. App State is a game that they led 16-0, ended up losing. And the thing is, Mike Houston's had an extra week to work against the option, and he said that's going to be a big factor for them. Now, with Army, they played a pretty light schedule. I mean, Lehigh, Rice, Temple, Tulsa, UAB. I really don't see a good team in there. East Carolina is probably the best team they've played so far, but I'm a little leery going against Army. As you mentioned, they've been steamrolling everybody, but I lean a little bit with East Carolina here.
Phil Steele is with us. A couple more here before we break, and we'll get to the afternoon and evening slate, which, of course, will include Georgia at Texas and LSU at Arkansas. But let me jump back into the SEC and ask you about a couple, including South Carolina at Oklahoma. This is another one, Phil, where people in SEC country are going, hey, Oklahoma, you ain't in the Big 12 no more. Oklahoma is a home dog to South Carolina, which is hard to fathom, but here it is. It's a virtual pick'em. I'm looking at South Carolina, a 1-point favorite over the Sooners. Can the Sooners get right at home, or does Shane Beamer get a big win on the road?
Yeah, this one's tough to call for me because, I mean, both teams have excellent defenses. South Carolina's defense probably a little bit better. They're holding opponents to 122 yards below their season average. I love their defensive front seven. Go ahead and ask Kentucky about that.
Yep.
And then with Oklahoma, there's nothing wrong with the defense. They're holding opponents to 85 yards per game below their season average. Now, offensively, Oklahoma has struggled all year, just 288 yards per game. I like the way South Carolina moved the ball in Alabama last week, 374 yards, 23 first downs. Sellers is back. Rocket Sanders is back. So I feel at this point South Carolina is actually a slightly better team. But how do you go against Oklahoma at home? Oklahoma is 4-2 despite a tough schedule, and the schedule doesn't get any easier for them upcoming. I think it's a toss-up game as well. I find a tough time picking against either of these, Oklahoma at home or a very underrated South Carolina team.
What about Bama, Tennessee? Third Saturday in October. Last time these two teams played, it was a classic that many of us who watch it will remember forever. Tennessee, a 3-point home dog here to Bama, but Phil, Bama has not been impressive ever since that second half against Georgia. How do you make sense of this one? Do the Vols get another big one on Rocky Top, or does Kalen DeBoer get a signature win here in year one?
Yeah, and this is one of those games, Matt, where I'm arguing with my computer all week.
Okay.
My computer likes Tennessee in this one by 3. I like Alabama, and you mentioned Alabama's been poor the last couple of weeks. So has Tennessee. Tennessee got outplayed by Arkansas, outgained by 102 yards. And then the Florida game, I mean, Florida had 4 chances to score in the first half inside the red zone. They got stopped on downs deep in territory. They got fumbled at the 1. They made a field goal and had it taken off the board for 12 men. They had 3 points for 4 trips in the red zone. Probably should have been up 20-0 in that game, and that allowed Tennessee to come back and win it in overtime. So they've been struggling the last 2 weeks as well. I think Alabama's a better team. I'm going to take Jalen Milroe over Nico Iamaleava. And I just think the Alabama's now better tested. They've already played Georgia and beat them. I like Alabama in this one.
All right, Phil siding with Bama, the computer. I hope the computer has bragging rights next week, Phil. I hope the computer's peacocking all around the Phil Steele office, and we're just celebrating another Alabama loss. We'll see how it goes. He's on Twitter at PhilSteele042, PhilSteele.com. Let's knock out a quick break. Come back. We'll talk about the rest of the afternoon slate, the evening slate. Of course, Georgia, Texas, and LSU-Arkansas still ahead with Phil Steele. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Glow Resources, GLO, glowresources.com. They are complete employer solutions, and we say complete employer solutions because at Glow Resources, they want to talk to you, the business owner. Sometimes the best way to tell you what Glow is by telling you what they aren't, and what they aren't is a temp staffing agency. That's not what Glow is. So if you're an employee, don't call them. They will find you. Glow has the systems in place to canvass the country, to cast a wide net to find the best employees for the job that you, the business owner, you, the HR manager, the hiring director, the operations manager, that you're trying to find. And quite honestly, y'all, they're fun to work with. You know, they do 15,000 interviews a year of prospective candidates. Never, not once, have they ever had a negative review from one of their interviews. It's Glow Resources. Skilled blue-collar labor or their professional placement division, glowresources.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Continuing here this Football Friday with Phil Steele. Make sure you get to philsteele.com, S-T-E-E-L-E, philsteele.com. You'll see the Phil Steele Plus Tour, the video, the YouTube video embedded right there on the homepage. You can take the Plus Tour, you get those free picks from Phil Steele Plus. We'll tell you a bit more about that coming up here in a bit. But, Phil, let me start with Notre Dame. They got to go down to Atlanta. A bit odd. They're not playing on campus at Bobby Dodd Stadium. This is going to be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but it's Notre Dame at Georgia Tech. And, Phil, we talked about it a bit last week. It stands to reason if Notre Dame runs the table and they finish 11-1, even not playing in a conference championship game, that they'd likely have a playoff spot. But this is a big test going on the road against the Yellow Jackets. Notre Dame at Georgia Tech, where the Irish are a 9.5-point road favorite.
11-1 Notre Dame does have a playoff spot. Let's just go there.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to be left out. But, Notre Dame's they've lost some key starters in recent weeks, and Georgia Tech's a dangerous underdog. But Haynes King, a little banged up. I wonder if he's going to be able to play the entire game. That's a big thing. And Notre Dame's going to have plenty of fans there at Mercedes-Benz, so it won't be like a full home crowd for Georgia Tech in that one. I think Notre Dame's a better team, and they've been taking care of business in most games this year. I'm actually going to lean a little bit with the Irish in that one.
Phil, what about Colorado and Arizona? A game that maybe isn't big on the marquee, but anytime Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is there, it's going to get a lot of attention. They're steamrolling toward bowl eligibility, but this is going to be a really competitive one. It's the afternoon game on Fox. Arizona is a 2.5-point home favorite there in Tucson. Can the Buffs pull the upset?
Prior to that Baylor game this year, I probably would have had Arizona probably by 13 to 14 points.
Oh, wow, okay.
But Arizona's been non-impressive the last couple of weeks. Fafita on the year, coming into the season, Noah Fafita had a 25-6 ratio last year, hitting 72% of his passes. This year he's only hitting 59% of his passes. Actually got a negative ratio, 8-9. So that concerns me a little bit. The fact that Colorado, once they beat Baylor, played really good against UCF, played really good last week against Kansas State, even led that thing late in the game. So they're really on the come. But I think Arizona still is the better team at home, so I'm going to lean with Arizona, especially laying less than a field goal when I had them a 2-touchdown favorite 2 weeks ago. I'll take the Wildcats on that one.
Let's jump back into the SEC. Texas A&M coming off a bye. LSU will be at Kyle Field next week. But A&M coming off a bye, they head to Starkville, where Mississippi State offense might have found a little something in that second half against Georgia. It's a big number. State's an 18-point home underdog. Bulldogs with a little offense, maybe keep it close?
I'm going to lean with Texas A&M in this one, and not a huge play because, as you mentioned, Mississippi State's been hanging around with the big boys. They were down. Remember, they were down to Georgia 34-10. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden started scoring late in the game. Georgia had some game against Texas coming up on deck, so they might have looked ahead to that one a little bit. And the same thing, I think, when they put up the 13 points against Texas earlier. Michael Van Buren's looked good, but they're not taking on teams with their A game. Meanwhile, Texas A&M's off a bye week. I think they're fresh, they're ready, and Mike Elko's almost unbeatable off a bye week. And when you look at the Aggies, they're holding opponents to 110 yards per game below their season average on defense, number 13 in the country. Offensively, 83 yards above their average, which is among the tops in the country. And when I talked to Mike Elko after spring was over, went over the team, he said this might be his best defense he's had on the field. I like the fact that Wegman's back at QB, and I do think they're the stronger team. Remember, Toledo came in here and beat Mississippi State by 24. Florida handled them by 17, and I think A&M's a better team than both of them.
Phil Steele is with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. We mentioned UCF. They're going to be at Kansas State. UCF's been a hard team to figure out at times this year. UCF's at Iowa State. Forgive me, I mixed up my game. At Iowa State. Iowa State undefeated, top 10 of the country, 6-0. Matt Campbell's got them rolling. Iowa State a 13.5-point home favorite. Thoughts if the Gus bus can head up to Ames and keep that one close?
I like Iowa State in this one. I think they're the best team in the Big 12. When I went over the team with Coach Campbell after spring practice was over this year, it seemed like every single position he wrapped up, he said either this is the best we've been at this unit since I've been here, or this is the most experienced we've been at this unit since I've been here, or this is the most talented at this unit since I've been here. So I felt it was his best team, but yet they were under the radar. And my big question with Matt Campbell has been, he always motivates his team as a dog. Look at that Iowa win. Very impressive. Iowa's a team that could end up a 10-win season this year, and they pulled out that win on the road. But doesn't do great as a favorite. Well, guess what? He's had 4 games as a favorite since then and covered them all, and in convincing fashion, including going into West Virginia, coming out with a 12-point win. So they're at home. They're doing well as a favorite. And remember, UCF's had a couple of players that after week 4 was over, opted out. They're struggling a bit. KJ Jefferson lost his job to Ja'Cory Brown. I just think Iowa State's a better team at home. I'm not jumping off the Iowa State bandwagon.
What about Kansas State going on the road to West Virginia? Maybe a little bit of a sticky spot, but potentially also a letdown spot for West Virginia. Kansas State is a short favorite there, 2.5 points.
Yeah, I like West Virginia plus the points there. I think the two teams are pretty much even. The situation really favors West Virginia.
Okay.
Kansas State last week was at Colorado, playing late at night, and needed all they had to pull out a 31-28 win, travel back home, now travel across the country, play West Virginia. West Virginia is going to be fired up at home for this one. They played Iowa State real good in the first half last week. Pretty much a couple of interceptions turned that one in the second half, and I talked to you about how I felt Iowa State was the best team in the Big 12. I think that you're going to see West Virginia play one of their best games of the year. And keep in mind, West Virginia's 3 losses: Penn State, Pittsburgh, Iowa State. How many games have those 3 teams lost? None. So they haven't lost to a team that's lost a game this year.
Let's wrap up with 3 in the SEC. Start with Kentucky at Florida. Not often that you're going to see the Cats a favorite at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, but that's the situation. Both teams 3-3. Kentucky a 1.5-point favorite over the Florida Gators. Which way do you see it, Phil?
I like Florida in the swamp. Kentucky's averaging 12.8 points per game in SEC play, so the offense is struggling. And as mentioned, Florida at Tennessee, tough environment, big underdog, and 4 drives they had in the first. They just totally dominated the first half. Should have been up by 17, 20 points. They weren't. If they can finish off those drives, I know they lost Graham Mertz, but DJ Legway's been getting plenty of playing time. He's very talented. I just like the way Florida's playing the last 3 weeks. And when you look at the Gators' rest of the schedule, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Mississippi, they better get this one.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Georgia and Texas, arguably the biggest one in college football this weekend. No, it is the biggest one in college football this weekend. Georgia can't afford another loss. Phil already won on the docket, but man, at Texas, they still got to go at Ole Miss as well. Georgia, a place they don't find themselves often, Phil. They are an underdog. Looking at 4.5 right now. The Longhorns stay undefeated, or does Georgia re-announce themselves as a title contender?
Yeah, the second game of me versus the computer here this week. My computer likes Texas, and I like Georgia. I mean, you give me Georgia as an underdog. I love the way they rebounded against Alabama, completely outplayed in the first half, down 30-7 at Alabama, and guess what? They come back and even took the lead in that game. And if you look at Texas, they've got a dominant defense, right? They're only giving up 230 yards per game. Who's the best offense they've faced so far this year?
Great question.
Believe it or not, it's UTSA, and I mean, they haven't played an upper-level offense all year. You got Carson Beck, Trevor Etienne, that offensive line. I think you're going to see Georgia have success against Texas's defense. And this is a Georgia team that's very proud, very talented, probably went through the motions a little bit the last couple of weeks. I think we'll see the A game from Georgia. I'll take them as a dog anytime they are. I'm going with Kirby Smart in this one.
Georgia getting 4.5. Ain't many days you go see the Georgia Bulldogs getting points. You get the opportunity. I don't blame you for jumping on it, Phil. All right, let's talk about the one in Fayetteville. LSU, an emotional win. This is a very obvious letdown spot. Arkansas always gets up to play LSU. Tigers are a 2.5-point road favorite up there in Fayetteville. Everyone here is just kind of sitting on the edge of their seat, Phil. What do you think?
Yeah, every time we talk about Arkansas LSU, aren't we always saying how Arkansas plays LSU tough? And I tell you what, last week I liked LSU, and I sweated that one out. It was a tough win, but we got it. You know what? And very happy about that. I thought it was a tremendous situation last week for LSU. At home, in Death Valley, off a bye, versus a team playing a second straight game, a tough game, and I thought it was a great situation. LSU did end up, in the long run, taking care of business and getting that win at home. But now the situation favors Arkansas. And this is an Arkansas team, you know how Sam Pittman's an underdog. I'm playing him. He's 8-1 against ranked teams, something like 8-1 against it as a dog. They're at home, off a bye. Sound familiar? And LSU's off a big game where they were at home, off a bye as a dog, and now traveling on the road the next week as a favorite. I think the situation really favors Arkansas. And frankly, I've been impressed with Arkansas in every game this year. They haven't really played a bad game. Even the Texas A&M game they lost, they had a 82-yard edge, and that's a really good Texas A&M team. So impressed with Bobby Petrino's offense, and I'm going to side with Arkansas on this one.
He'll always tell it to you straight. Phil Steele, philsteele.com, S-T-E-E-L-E, philsteele.com, where you go take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Let's remind Phil about the tour and how you're doing.
I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, the tour's up and available right now. You get 5 free selections, 5 quick hitters, all absolutely free. Just go to philsteele.com, click on the Phil Steele Plus tour there right at the front. And then also, if you play FCS, on Saturday morning, we'll have an FCS Phil Steele Plus tour up there. Those selections on the tour have gone 11-5 this year. So if you can get FCS lines, go ahead and check that out Saturday morning. But take that Phil Steele Plus tour right now and get yourself 10 free plays.
Right there on the homepage at philsteele.com, S-T-E-E-L-E, philsteele.com. Phil, you're the best. We always appreciate the visit. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk again next Friday.
A lot of fun as always, Matt. You have a great weekend, my friend.
You do the same. He is the one and only Phil Steele. It's after further review. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
Love telling you about our friends over at Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Action, INDINC.com. That's Action Industries Incorporated. I know it's Friday, and we're moving to the end of Friday and the end of the week, so you may not be thinking of it, but remember, getting closer to Action Industries, those 2-month-long turnarounds they have coming up. They're hiring, looking for 100 to 120 people. If you're a crane operator, welder, boilermaker, pipe fitter, they want to talk to you over at Action Industries, working 7/12, so a lot of work in these 4 or 5 week turnarounds, but it's a great opportunity. So get in touch with our friends at Action Industries, great local company. All the work, by the way, local to the greater Baton Rouge area as well. They've been in Baton Rouge, Action Industries has, since 1982, and of course is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. They support our home teams as well. It's Action Industries. Apply online or in person at their Highway 30 office in Geismar. It's Action Industries, a proud partner of LSU Athletics.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief.
our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. At LSU, we play hard, but we tailgate harder. Light your burner, fire up the grill. It's time for our Football Friday tailgate recipe of the week with Chris's Specialty Foods. 4 locations, or go to chrisspecialtyfoods.com.
All right, Coben Leindecker's in studio with us. Road game. If you're not making the trip, good opportunity to get a little home gating in, throw something on the grill. Weather's getting nicer. How are you, dude?
Good, man. Glad to be here.
Thanks for coming in as always. Man, you start talking about temps in the 40s, I start thinking like gumbo, etouffee. Y'all got all that stuff cooking, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. All the soups and gumbos you want.
Man, I tell you, it might be time for that.
Yeah.
I hadn't even really thought about game day meals just yet, but this is a good time to do it. All right, it's Arkansas, it's pigs, so we're doing pork. What are we looking at?
Yeah, so we're playing the Razorbacks, so we went a pork-themed board today.
Let's go.
So we have our house-made boudin that everybody loves. We have our homemade pork crackling. And today at the restaurant and Monday, if LSU wins, we ran some BLT specials because we're playing Arkansas, so we did some bacon.
I love it, man. Dude, a BLT is something that I think is a bit underrated. Super easy to do as well. You don't often think about it. So what kind of, is that just regular old white bread? What'd y'all use?
Yeah, so we did like a little Texas toast style, put some butter on it.
Yeah. Man, that toasted butter looks really good. What and then what about when you go shop for vegetables, you go to fruit and vegetable stand, you go to supermarket, where do you go shopping for veggies?
So actually we keep it local here in Baton Rouge. We do Capital City Produce right there on O'Neill.
Cool.
We get all of our produce from them. Very fresh, very good. And the crackling this week, if you want to be the star of your tailgate, we actually bagged up some diced pork bellies raw, so that you can take it to your tailgate party and fry.
Oh,
and
no way.
And you can be like, yeah, I house-made pork crackling.
All right, walk me through how to make crackling.
Yeah, so we have them.
It's delicious, by the way.
We have them already cubed up, ready to go. You just have to get grease, get it rolling at 350, and you're going to drop those crackling for about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on the size of them. Once they start floating and they're golden brown at the top, once they start floating in that grease, you'll know they're ready.
That's when they're
Add
done.
you your favorite Cajun seasoning on top. We, of course, use our Chris's one. And then you have Louisiana authentic crackling.
So how do you cube? Is that like pork butt? What is that?
It's pork belly. So, yeah.
Pork belly. You said that. I'm sorry.
Yep. So you take the whole belly, score it and dice it, and get it in cubes like that. And all you have to do is drop it in the grease.
What if somebody wanted to do it from scratch and get the pork belly? Y'all sell pork belly?
We actually have the whole pork belly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So if you want to do the whole thing,
if you want it nice and easy, we offer the diced version. Or if you want to go real authentic, you can buy the whole pork belly and you can score it and dice it yourself.
Let's go, man. That looks good. And I'm gonna tell you, man, one of the BLT idea is something I would have never thought. A lot of times, we're doing like bacon or pork sliders, like a lot of different sort of stuff. I mean, bacon, of course, is on a BLT, but that's an easy thing to do and to do in bulk as well.
Yeah, nice and light on you, and it's very easy to make. Yeah.
Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. That's the website, so it's back-to-back S's, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Of course, the newest location in Central. They got the Lakeview location down in New Orleans, Millerville and Baton Rouge, and then, of course, the Highland Road location where they're serving up lunch every day. And you were telling me, it's obviously that time of year for deer processing. So y'all are like the Highland Road location. Y'all are moving everything over there?
Yeah, so you can drop off your deer at any location, but bow season's open right now. Rifle season's about to open. So after you kill a deer, just get it on ice, bring it over to us. We have everything we offer. You can pick what you want, and we process it for you.
There it is right there, man. So there's the deer processing link right at the top of the website, and gives you all the info right there about deboning it and everything you want. So get there, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. All right, give me a thought on the game tomorrow, man.
All righty, man. Arkansas, it's always a tight game when we play them, especially at Arkansas. It's giving me a real trap game energy, but I LSU's the better team. They should win. Defense travels, so I'm going to go 31-27 LSU.
Did we really think we were going to say defense travels with this LSU team?
Huh?
I'll tell you what, man. They played well last week. All right, so 31-27.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. It's Coben over Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com, our tailgate segment each week. Thanks for coming in as always, man.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, bud. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Weekends here. A lot of times people will shop for that vehicle online, and then once you see it, then you go test drive it. So start right now by going to southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Shop new certified pre-owned great deals like 2024 Cross Sport for 2.9% APR for 60 months. That's the vehicle I drive. Pick out all your different options, your features, whatever you want. They got them for you. Best selection of new and certified pre-owned. Remember, because at South Point, they move more new inventory. They have a better selection of pre-owned inventory as well. So shop them online, then go test drive. You can even work out your financing online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be there. Of course, as soon as the game goes final with LSU and Arkansas, we'll be at Don Juan Saturday for Whiskey and Wine. Y'all come join us if you can't watch us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Theriot's coming up right after the top of the hour. We'll get to Ryan's letter, kick rocks, all that stuff. We'll delve a little deeper. Dennis Allen did meet with reporters here on Friday, updated some injuries, so we'll delve into all that coming up here in hour number 2. It's Football Friday edition of AFR. Don't you move.
AFR.
I was chatting earlier this week with my buddy Ben Sanders over at First South Farm Credit, and he was telling me in the last 2 months, they have, over at First South Farm Credit, they have modified $168 million in loans. We've seen, the past 2 weeks, I said 2 months, I'm sorry, in the past 2 weeks, we've seen rates come down. So what they've done is they look at all of their customers and they say, hey, can we actually lower your rate and save you money? Some customers kind of call BS on that, thinking they wouldn't actually do it, but that's part of their business. People trust First South Farm Credit. It's why for more than 100 years, when it comes to Louisianians buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. They've been first in agriculture since 1916, but so much of their business are people looking to buy that investment property, that timberland for investment, buying that recreational property, or maybe that acreage to build your family's dream home. One call, First South Farm Credit.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Another double dose of playoff baseball today. First up, Game 5 in the NLCS. The Dodgers with a 3-1 series lead on the Mets. Coverage underway for that one on ESPN Radio. Then at 7:30 Eastern, we'll have Game 4 of the ALCS. The Yankees with a 2-1 series lead on the Guardians. College football Saturday features a top 5 matchup for the second week in a row. It's 5th-ranked Georgia at #1 Texas. The Bulldogs already have 1 loss. ESPN's Holly Rowe.
They are so resilient, and they have some kids on that team who are great leaders. But the key for me for Georgia is Carson Beck cannot turn the ball over. He had a horrific turnover game against Alabama. He turned it over again a couple of times against Mississippi State last week.
Holly Rowe on Greeny. Texas and Georgia, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow on ABC and ESPN+. Game 4 of the WNBA Finals tonight in Minneapolis. The Lynx need a win at home to force Game 5. The New York Liberty wrap up their first title with a win tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. His teammates think Lamar Jackson could win MVP, but I'll tell you why I agree with them. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right.
It's that Louisiana boy, yeah, they call him the Riot. Born and raised in the swamps, gonna fight like a tiger. He going beast mode, baby, he a beast though. What you think he supposed to do? You picture better reload. Yeah, the boy cut.
After further review, the Riot Radio Hour with Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot, presented by Alpha Customs. Alpha Customs, Prairieville and Lafayette, and online at alphacustoms.net.
Well, how's your week going?
Week was good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, but good. I'm full of good ideas.
Here comes Theriot. The throw, not in time. Scudero delivers and the Giants lead 4-3 in the 10th.
The wave pool, although probably full of bacteria, flesh-eating parasites, and the occasional turd, provides endless hours of fun. It's not cool to have a 30A sticker on the back of your grocery go-getter. Big fan of the truck.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And sleeveless Theriot. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yo, Brad.
Yo, bro.
I mean, what do you think you're trying to prove?
With what?
With you just deciding when it's 45 degrees outside, you're not going to wear sleeves.
Oh, come on, man.
I walk into the parish office.
Sleeves.
I walk into the parish office on Thursday. Everybody's got a little light jacket on, 45, 48 degrees. Theriot's in there in a too tight polo shirt because he decided to work out again. saying we're not turning the heater on. Nobody's turning the heater on. First touch of cold, and everybody's acting like it's the Arctic.
That's what was happening.
It's
It was
45
ridiculous.
degrees. Everybody wanted to put on a little jacket. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot wrong with
You
it.
want to tick the heat up a little bit, get a little, just to take that little bite out of the room. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Saw a lady at Traction wearing a scarf that night. Grow up. It's 50 degrees. You don't need a scarf on your neck.
What about the Han Solo boots that all the girls wear now?
God,
As soon as like the second the thermostat dips below 70, it's like boom, Han Solo boot. Solo boot season, let's go.
I thought about with my letter today as I was going over topics. It wasn't gonna be specific to the cold, but it was like the people that when there's a weather change or a temperature change, like they are going.
I got a little.
Yeah, I mean you got
it's light. It's blue.
Yeah,
little long sleeve blue piece. I mean,
that's
look,
fine.
It's just super light, just a little light,
No,
just a layer.
You don't want to be cold.
I don't want to be cold.
Right. But if you had on a sweater vest and a long sleeve shirt, you're doing too much.
I did have on last night at Scone and Tea my parish sweater vest.
Vest.
Or vest, not a sweater vest. Yeah, a vest.
Zip. You can
zip
zip it.
Yeah. The zip vest.
Which is fine because you could technically.
We were outside.
And you
Show's outside.
You can wear that with a short sleeve shirt underneath it if you wanted to.
I didn't. I had long sleeve.
Or long sleeve.
And I put a hat on.
The scarf thing was ridiculous. The gloves are
all right. I'm
going to be
with you on
quick.
that.
And then, but when it warms,
not there yet.
When it warms up a little bit in the spring, and I just think this is hilarious. And this is not what my letter's about, but the second it like touches 60, you see the dudes with flip flops on. Like they cannot wait to put on their flip flops.
You know, I think my flip flop days are kind of over. If I'm at the beach, that's one thing. But like wearing open toe anything in public, I just think my days of doing that are over. Nobody wants to see your toes. Nobody wants to see your feet.
They don't want that.
Do you want to see my feet?
Not particularly.
Nobody wants to see. I mean, unless if that you're like Rex Ryan and you got a little fetish. Like nobody wants to see anybody's feet.
No.
Right?
No. The aggressive, like too early dress, like season change for the dress thing that's something that definitely bothers me. Can I shout out Chris's Specialty Foods today?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number one
was just in here.
Number one for this spread right here.
Look at that. The BLT's great.
I love a good BLT.
Me too.
Nanny used to make that. Shout out Nanny if you're listening.
Nanny? Yeah.
She's the best.
I love a good nanny. My nanny's awesome too. Shout out Nanny. Shout out to all the nannies out there.
My nanny taught me how to cuss.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she really is the best.
My nanny is the biggest LSU baseball fan.
Okay.
Big Ryan Theriot fan.
Really?
In 2000, I went to the College World Series.
Did we do Nanny's roof?
Yes.
We did.
Yes.
We did Nanny's roof.
Yes, my godmother. Yes. You did.
Sure did.
Yep, sure did. Yep.
So I went to Chris's today for lunch
Big
like
Ryan
I do every
Theriot.
day.
So I heard.
Because it's the best.
Yesterday as well.
And they had a seafood fettuccine thing today. It was like their special.
Mm-hmm.
I normally just get a salad every day, and they make fun of me. They have Denzel Washington's doppelganger works over there.
No kidding.
I mean,
the one on Highland?
Absolutely. Like you have to double take. You're like, bro, like you took a break from filming to come work at Chris's?
Okay.
Like, what do we... Anyway, so he's pretty good. He recognizes me. He's like, you know, have the usual today, the salad. I'm like, no, dude, give me the special. It's Friday. I'm going to...
Yeah.
What? Excuse me?
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Go eat lunch over there.
That's good. Chris is right there on Highland.
Oh, so good. Shut out. Spooky season. That's what it is.
How's your week?
Spooky season.
Is that what your week is? Is spooky?
Mm-hmm. Watching.
Do they sell Evermore at Chris's? If not, I need to get.
I don't know.
I need to get Coben on Evermore.
They may.
If they don't, they got a bunch of cooler space over there as well. It's a big place.
Bro, they got some meat.
I know they got
some
they do.
Meat. You can't beat their meat. Their meat they got good meat. They do. Anyway. So it's spooky season. And so we've been watching scary movies at the Theriot household.
Oh, God.
Let me say this about scary movies, too. Scary movies now in 2024 suck. They're not good. Although I did see... Are you a scary movie guy?
No.
I did see the...
Hi, I'm mad. If we met...
I did see...
You think I'm going to sit there and watch a movie, let alone a scary movie?
I get that.
I'm not riding roller coasters. I'm not a thrill seeker. I'm good. I don't need any of that stuff.
What's it called? I saw the previews for this new one. It's called Smile.
Oh, sounds awesome.
See if you could just watch the It's one of those where, do you remember when what was the one in the woods? What was the one in the woods called?
The Ring?
No.
Blair Witch?
Blair Witch. Remember when that one came?
I saw that.
I mean, I didn't go in the woods for like 2 or 3 years.
You know what's funny is like with Blair Witch, it was the stacked rocks was a sign that the witch or whatever thing had been there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
My sister was super weirded out by it, so I went outside.
You are so wrong.
And I got and I stacked some rocks in the bathtub.
In the bathtub?
So whenever she walked in the tub one day, she was just going to see the rocks in there.
She didn't bathe for a month. She smelled like ass, dude. That's so funny. Anyway, Smile. Look at the previews for Smile.
Oh, man.
Anyway, spooky season. So we watched. I've been trying to get in the spirit. My wife and daughter's decorated the house. It's good.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of a Halloween letter here. Not full blown Halloween, but a little bit. Okay. It's really just a Halloween. And the holiday itself is interesting to me because I really don't know what it's for.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think it was created to sell a bunch of useless crap.
Yep. Most holidays are.
Okay. The candy companies benefit the most for this holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you get like,
And the pumpkin companies.
So that was another thing. We can talk about that after the letter. I do want to talk about pumpkins for a minute.
Yeah, we do.
Nasty ass candy that would, under normal circumstances, sit on the shelf for years.
Mm-hmm.
During Halloween, like sells like hotcakes. Like it is. They are. You can't get it. It sells out. Like the Bit-O honey. You ever seen those?
Oh, I like Bit-O honey. Watch out.
You like
I like Bit-O honey. Now, you got to understand, you're also talking to someone who's a fat kid, and if it had sugar in it, I was going to eat it.
Boston baked beans.
Don't know what that is.
They don't have. They're sold out. They had them.
Now I like a Bit-O honey now.
Sugar babies.
Oh, yeah.
What? Are you sure?
Especially at the movies. Oh yeah. Come on, bro.
What about Chick-A Stick?
I don't know if I know that.
They sell out of Halloween.
Chick-A Stick.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. I don't see it.
What about the little orange peanut things that are like
peanuts?
Yeah, but they're orange.
Yeah, I like those.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
You are the guy that I'm talking about.
Now hold on. I want to be very.
Like, you would buy those things if you saw them in the store? Any of those? Would you go to the gas station and walk out with a
Bit-O honey? Yes. The orange peanuts, maybe, depending on what else they have, because usually the orange peanuts. Now to be very clear, not today, not 2024. Matt is not going into the gas station to buy this, but as a kid, like you get allowance money, we would ride our bikes to the Circle K and we'd go get us an icy and a candy or so, right? We get something.
And you'd get one of those.
My brother was a big Bit-O honey guy. He got Bit-O honey a lot. I was more like Caramello, Rolo. I like the combo of chocolate and caramel.
I do.
Now,
like
here's my thing. Well, finish your leg. I get accused too often of not letting you show, but you asked me the question about the orange peanuts, and all I was going to say was usually it's those like, it's the rack that has like the gummy bears and it's like the Sathers or the local brands, like all those bagged candies.
You liked that rack.
Know what I'm saying? I could, but what I'm saying is, like, if that's the only thing on that rack, I would get that. If it's the only thing there. It's not, if there's 10 things, that wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah.
But I like them, those orange peanuts.
Okay, I think you're the only one on the planet.
That's not true. They wouldn't make them.
So what I think, here's my observation on Halloween. This is what I think happened. Is happening. I think it's a holiday that's designed for young kids to become pre-diabetic.
Yes.
I mean, I think there is a conspiracy to increase diabetes, and they start with young children, and Halloween is like the beginning.
Interesting theory.
I think that whatever companies make insulin, sell insulin, I think they're part of this.
Okay.
I think they're pushing the Halloween thing. They're pushing the candy thing. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Haven't fully figured this out yet.
Okay.
But candy isn't the only reason that folks enjoy Halloween. Halloween also allows ugly people to be cute. It just like it makes ugly folks look decent, or they can dress up and put masks on or whatever. You can do the same thing for cute people. They can look ugly during Halloween and see what that feels like.
Yeah.
That's a
You
thing.
could do that.
It's possible. Both scenarios are dumb to me, but whatever. It is what it is. People like to dress up. Moms walk the neighborhoods wearing far too revealing outfits. The dads shotgun beers and drive four-wheelers, pulling a trailer full of pine straw from Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens on Halloween. It's coming. It's the most depressing part of Halloween, and this really bothers me. Now, I will never do this, and I never have done this.
Okay.
And if you do this, you suck.
Okay.
If you ask your parents to come to your house to hand out candy so you can go walk around your neighborhood, that's messed up. The parents want to enjoy it. They want to walk around. Why does Grandma and Grandpa have to sit in the driveway and hand out candy?
Grandma and Grandpa have had decades of doing that. Maybe they don't want to walk around anymore.
Maybe they want to ride the golf cart. But you make them sit in the driveway.
Then you just go and wait.
No, I think it's bull, man. I think it's bull. They're forced to sit in the driveway and hand out candy. While their daughter, who asks them to come over there, goes and flirts with the neighbor down the street. She's wearing a witch outfit, so she doesn't think anybody can recognize her, but we know what she's doing. To me, the dressing up in the costume thing is just weird. As a kid, you dress up as someone or something that you like or that you wish to be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a form of flattery.
He-Man.
Michael Jordan.
Hulk Hogan.
Donald Trump. Should be a lot of Trumps this year. I got a good feeling.
Erica.
And we're gonna have a lot of Paul Skeens too.
We have a problem in our house because Erica wants Drew to be Kelsey and she's gonna be Taylor Swift. And I'm like, I don't want my kid in a Chiefs anything. We're Saints fans. And this is a thing right now.
Oh man, that is a problem. Well, I want to dress up as our future mayor, Sid Edwards, but I'd have to shave my head.
I can do it.
So that's a thing that's happening right now.
Shout out Sid.
Shout out Mayor Sid. Here we go. Let's go. Anyway.
You
No, I'm not.
Well, come on.
Okay, yeah, I can be done. I'm so glad my kids don't trick or treat anymore, okay? So I don't have to participate in this stupid holiday. And yes, I'm the house that has its lights turned off. That's me. So don't send your kids to my front door. I will not contribute to the obesity crisis in America. No, I'm not dressing up like some weirdo. You guys can kick rocks. Sincerely, Ryan.
So after further review, we'll do Kick Rocks next at Avar.
After further review.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air. Even though Mr. The Riot over here is protesting sleeves, it's been in the 40s the last 2 mornings. It's chilly.
That's chilly.
It's okay to turn your heater on. But remember, before you do that, before we get into the throes of the cold weather months, make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air. Have them come by for the preseason heater safety check. They're going to check on your heater, make sure it's clean, tuned up, so it's running efficiently and safely.
You need to do that.
Your heater, it's dormant for months.
Your house could blow up if you don't do that. It could. If it's not serviced.
It collects dust, could be hazardous, could
blow your house up.
So make sure you call River City's 1 Hour Air.
So your house doesn't blow up.
They'll come by. They'll make sure your heater is safe and efficient for the coming cold weather. 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 Hour Air.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-26.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
You know I'm looking tight. These jealous haters looking at me in my car so shy.
Got to be better. Plain and simple. Got to be better. Felt like we had some good things going at certain times, but just couldn't catch a rhythm. It starts with myself. Got to be better, and then the group will follow. So I got to set that standard and be better.
Spencer Rattler, after the Saints lose 33-10 to the Denver Broncos. Rattler was, it's hard to say he was the problem. He was certainly part of it, but he was sacked 6 times. He was pressured on darn near every play. Got basically a preseason offense going against starting defense that's top 5 in the NFL. That's kind of what you get. Rattler did leave the game before that final drive where the Saints got a garbage time touchdown where Jay Kaner hit Cedric Wilson. Here was DA on why Rattler left the game.
He got I think maybe a hip pointer. And at that time, I didn't want to leave him in there. I wanted to, put Jake in there. I didn't want to risk him getting hurt any further.
Be interesting to see what they elect to do. You got a little layoff here. You got 10 days before they go out west to take on the Chargers. If Derek Carr is not back, do you roll with Rattler again? Do you make the change to Haener? Tough spot. I don't know. You ever feeling one way or the other?
I don't think it matters. I think they should put the worst guy out there. This was probably.
I don't think either is a good option.
In Rattler's defense, and you just said it, it's hard to be good and efficient when you're running for your life the whole time.
Yeah.
In your second start as a professional.
He was 25 of 35. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not terrible. It just everything is context, man. Yeah. You have a rookie quarterback behind an offensive line that's missing 3 starters. You don't have Taysom Hill or your top 2 receivers. Yeah, it wasn't going to go great. I'm not surprised. The disappointing part is what happened with the defense. Went through all that in the open of the show. If you missed it, AFR On Demand. You can get the show on podcast. If you prefer audio, just go to your favorite podcast app, search After Further Review. Or on YouTube, AFR LSU, AFR Saints. You get all our content right there. Really a bummer, though. Dumpster fire for Nussmeier?
Well, obviously that gives you more opportunity to move up in the draft if you stink. So, at what point do you just say, you know what, let's just, you can't, purposely lose games, but no, man.
You are positioned, though, so the higher you draft. This is where we are. Look, you're 2-5. You're not making anything of this season. But the higher you draft, the closer you are to the top. Even if you don't make it to the top 2 or 3 picks, you're closer to be able to move up if you choose.
When's the trade deadline?
November, the exact date. So it's still about 2 or 3 weeks away.
And who is
nobody? You're gonna ask who could the Saints trade?
Nobody wants anybody that the Saints have?
It's not that, and this is the thing that I always tell people all the time with trades. Like, are there players that have value? Certainly. But when you trade a player, you're not just trading the player, you're trading the player's contract.
Right. No, I get
and
that.
So by virtue of the fact of these awful deals that the Saints have done, when they keep restructuring contracts, it makes players almost virtually untradeable, because not only does someone not want to take on that contract, but then the Saints are also saddled with dead money against the cap for those players. So that's it makes it very difficult to be able to trade anybody. You just it guts your trade value. So it's why.
I mean, Chase Young doesn't have a stupid contract, does he?
No, they could trade Chase Young. We talked about it yesterday here on the show. That's one player who's on a 1-year deal, a prove-it deal. If there's a team like Aiden Hutchinson gets injured for Detroit, they need an edge rusher. It would make sense if Detroit said, "Hey, what if we give you a six-round pick for Chase Young?"
Yeah, we just want picks.
You know
we need
what?
a whole new team.
You know what I compared it to was what the Cubs did with Aroldis Chapman in 2016. Yankees traded Chapman to the Cubs, helps him win a World Series. He gets free agency, signs back with the Yankees. Like, there are those situations that can arise. You know, someone may want a rent player at a low price. That's doable, and you do it if you're a contending team. But the Saints are not a contending team.
No.
And they just don't have a lot of assets right now that are tradable, which is unfortunate. All right, it's after further review. Brought to you by Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Love me some Shaw Bills.
It's a good place. It's a good tire place.
It's a great tire place.
They do other stuff.
As a matter of fact, it's the best. Modern Tire dealer, or Modern Tire, I should say, named their Dealer of the Year nationally. Miss Beth Barron over at Shaw Bills. National award, #1, whole country.
They got like 10,000 locations. They got so many.
Well, there's not that many.
Yeah, not that many, but close.
I think it's 18. Not quite 10,000.
I bet you they have 10,000 tires in those 18 locations.
Oh, among all the locations, I'll be willing to bet that's a very safe estimate.
Bet your bottom dollar, bud.
You bet your bottom dollar. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. You need tires? Name brand tires, wholesale prices. They'll treat you like family, so you keep coming back year after year for all your service. Shaw Bills, we keep you rolling. And if you don't go to Shaw Bills, you can kick rocks.
It's time to kick rocks with Ryan Theriot.
Kick rocks.
Presented by Ruckus. Kick rocks with shoes from Ruckus. Jones Creek Road in Baton Rouge, or go to ruckus103.com.
Tom Brady can kick rocks. That's a standing kick rocks, but this one's
a perpetual kick rock.
Kick rocks.
Did you prepare?
Yeah. Okay, you can kick rocks for being a middle midget.
Kick rocks.
Costing your team 4 points.
They can kick a whole bag of rocks for that.
Get on down the road and kick rocks.
All right, playoff baseball, my favorite time of the year for the baseball season. Actually, I love the first week and a half, and then the second October hits, this thing gets exciting and gets fun. But one team in particular has pissed me off for the last 8 years, and that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. And for that, they can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
They spend entirely too much money. They double up the rest of the league on the amount of money that they spend. And yet, year after year, here they are, getting right to the end. There's going to be a disappointment when this thing is over. The Los Angeles Dodgers will win this round. MLB wants it to be Dodgers-Yankees.
Let's go!
Okay? And then they're going to lose to the Yankees in the World Series.
Take that, Muse. Get ready, Muse.
Dodgers and kick
Number
rocks.
28 in the queue. Here we go.
Jay Cutler can kick rocks.
I would be so pleasantly surprised if the Yankees did actually win the World Series.
They're hot, baby.
I know they
You get hot in October. You ride the wave.
Last night was really disappointing.
That's okay. Last night was fun. It was a good game, though. Good game.
Big Christmas is like the greatest nickname ever, too.
Really good.
That is so good.
That is good.
That's good.
Noel. There was an episode of, was it Tool Time? What was that show called? What Tim the Tool Man? Home Improvement. Where the little kid who were doing the Christmas episode, and he's in the choir, and the kids are wearing their choir robes. You remember this? And they're
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
They're lined up backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Noel, it spells out Leon. And he goes, "Who's Leon?" That's the kid in the manger next door. It's a good line. Leon. To this day, my family still sings the first Leon instead of the first Noel.
No, they don't.
I swear to God, it is that. I just told that joke off the cuff, didn't I? I mean, that is stuck for 30 years. Maybe longer, whenever that was.
That's funny. Jay Cutler can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Who's Leon?
There's this thing called Uber nowadays. Okay.
Oh man.
You don't have to do it you don't have to do it anymore. And just make the call.
Yeah, bro.
If you had a couple, make the call.
Yeah, man.
And this goes for anybody, not just Jay Cutler or somebody, in public eye. If you're gonna have a firearm in your vehicle, try not to have that joker loaded. Make sure that it's registered properly and all that stuff. Jay Cutler, couple bad choices, man. Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I, for one, am shocked that Jay Cutler would make a bad choice.
I get it. And then lastly, on.
That's good.
You like that one?
That was really good. We're going to tie it together.
Yeah.
We're going to tie it together.
New Orleans Saints can kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I don't know who's at fault here. I really don't even
Everybody.
know. So I'm just going to lump everybody in this whole thing.
Yeah.
I was really joking, secretly a Saints fan, closet guy, hoping that it would work. I know I've crushed them for a while now.
Yeah.
But enough. This is ridiculous. We got to blow this thing up. We got to start over somehow, some way. We got to be better. That's it. That's what I got.
Brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. That's me, and that's Mr. Theriot over here. ParrishBuilt.com. ParrishBuilt.com. Been telling you lately about our commercial division. Matt Pearson, our commercial manager, is awesome. Hired him from the state of Florida. 30 years. Guy's done pretty much. You can't imagine something that he hasn't seen with commercial roofing. So, roof repair. Maybe you're a business owner, and it's a little daunting looking at the replacement cost of a commercial roof. It's a massive expense. Well, we can help manage it to extend the life of that roof to keep your costs low as well. And by the way, roof maintenance programs, roof maintenance costs, tax deductible.
Oh, is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the maintenance thing.
I learned that in our marketing meeting last week.
Yeah, I was texting. Probably.
So on brand.
But the maintenance thing makes a ton of sense. I mean, it really does. Call Parrish Construction Roofing. Do business with someone you know.
ParrishBuilt.com. ParrishBuilt.com. Okay, well, now I got a quick break. Theriot will have, we'll do Ask, I wrote Ryan's letter on there twice. We'll do Ask Ryan in about 15 minutes. You can line up your questions. We'll talk plenty of LSU-Arkansas. Can't wait to hear who Theriot's got for a guest picker in 29 minutes from right now. That's coming up. It's AFR.
After further review.
Did you see the Will Campbell video for Gordon McKernan?
When he was alligator hunting?
Yeah.
I did.
How good was that?
It was good.
I
He's
love
a big
that
boy.
so much. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon continues to expand the G team. The newest member is Will Campbell of the Tigers football team. There's a video up if you want to go check it out on social media, at Get Gordon, Twitter, Instagram. Go at Get Gordon. You can see that video. Man, look how big he is, dude. You see how about the gator he pulls out the water? I mean, that ain't a little dude. I have a question as well. Is the gator that they pull out the water, is this guy dead?
I don't know. I didn't see that part.
And boy, this feels really dangerous, too, for a guy that's about to be a multi-gazillionaire here in a few months to be reaching in the water to pull out gators.
Look how big. A gator doesn't want any piece of him.
I don't think so, man. You got to go check out this video. At Get Gordon on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's on TikTok. It's all there. You know what to do. Get Gordon. Get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Brian Kelly met with reporters Thursday evening. Gave updates on 2 wide receivers we're keeping an eye on. Chris Hilton out. C.J. Daniels probable for the game. I think that's really significant. I've said with Hilton at this point that, look, I'm just going to assume he's not going to play until he does, and then we'll all be really happy and pleasantly surprised when he does. But you have to assume at this point, now this will be the 7th game he's missed, 8 weeks. And that injury happened a couple of weeks before the USC game. So it's been about 2.5 months since he suffered that injury in fall camp. When he's back, we'll just be pleasantly surprised, and it'll be something that you're adding. But I do think the C.J. Daniels news of him being probable is significant. And I've run through this in a couple of different places, but C.J. Daniels, the coaching staff loves C.J. Daniels. They find him very reliable. He is their best blocking wide receiver. He knows all the routes, very smart player. So he is a guy that is on the field almost every play. I went through the snap counts against South Carolina, and I mean that was obviously a very close game with LSU and South Carolina on the road, and you played 74 offensive snaps in that game, and C.J. Daniels was on the field for 71 of them. And excuse me, and Kyron Lacey, by example, was the next highest among LSU players who was on the field for 61 snaps. Aaron Anderson was on the field less than 40 snaps. So the point being, like, he doesn't come off the field. He has the highest catch rate among the LSU receivers. I mean, I'm trying to think of a better way to say this, but the way Pro Football Focus does, they give you like a drop grade, and his is the best, meaning he never drops the ball. Mm-hmm. So you got a guy that doesn't drop the ball. He's reliable, can block really well. I think it's very valuable having him on the field for this game. So having him back, I do think is significant for an offense that was missing a couple of weapons last week. It'd be nice to see him back on the field. Here it was, by the way, the South Carolina game. They played 79 snaps. Aaron Anderson had 39. Kyron Lacey had 61, as I mentioned. Xavier Thomas, 20. And then C.J. Daniels, 74 of the 79 snaps against South Carolina. He was on the field. So you're talking about a guy that they trust, man. It shouldn't be understated the importance of having him on the field, because sometimes guys impact the game even when they're not having the ball thrown their way. So I think that's important.
No, I mean his measurables too. I mean he's a big old boy, big presence. You've got him and Lacey, the two big receivers. Yeah. Last week, Xavier Thomas, right?
Yeah.
Xavier Thomas got a lot more run and added I felt like a bit of a different dynamic to the offense. You had Anderson,
but they're the same. They're the same.
They
guy.
are the same guy,
just like Daniels and Lacey are really the same.
No, they're similar.
So it's why. I'm sorry. Finish your point. I'm sorry.
Well, then you have to account for two water bugs last week. You know, you have two guys that are dangerous with the ball, can start and stop on a dime, and it was a different view. I was concerned that there wouldn't be any threats, you know, because you've got those two guys that weren't playing. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with those fellas stepping up.
Yeah, I mean Xavier Thomas caught a ball that was a touchdown that got taken off the board, and Aaron Anderson did catch the touchdown at the end of regulation. So they both made very big plays in the game. I'm not saying that, but I think one of the reasons, as we've talked about this week, it's important for Trey'Dez Green is at receiver is he gives you a different dimension offensively. You have a guy that's 6'7", 240. He's a power forward. And so like his body, like if you're boxing out for a rebound, his body gives you something different for defenses to plan for. Like with Thomas and Aaron Anderson, they're physically, their skill sets are the same. Same with Lacey and Daniels, which is why we keep talking about Hilton, because you don't have the guy that can stretch the field. Like that's what Chris Hilton is. And when Chris Hilton was out, it became Kyle Parker. Well, now he's out with an injury. So the next guy really in that role is Shelton Sampson, but they're having trouble trusting him. So, and he's just a young player, and everybody comes at a different pace. But
he's a redshirt freshman.
Yes. But the thing with Shelton is, if you wanted to get him on the field, a half dozen snaps just to run a safety off, just to run a go route and throw him a 50-50 ball. Mm-hmm. And he's 6'4" and can leap. Just
he got a lot of run last week. Sampson was on the field quite a bit last week.
Well, he had to be because they were down numbers. So I like Trey'Dez moving to wide receiver. Listen, by the way, this was Brian Kelly. He was asked on Thursday night about Trey'Dez and how that transition has gone this week at receiver.
He'll do well. I mean, I think, you can't teach him in 2 weeks, like all the receiver routes and positions. So we're going to keep it to a minimum in terms of what we're doing, but make it impactful. I think it's important that he gets on the field. I think it's important that he's part of the game plan, and that when you walk away, you go, who's that guy? But we can't get him out there and have it that he's making mental errors and not getting lined up and putting us in a position where we're slowing down the offense. So we think we found that spot, and I think he's handled it really well.
The way I've said it is, I'm with Trey'Dez isn't going to be on the field 50 snaps, but can he be on the field 15 snaps? And of those 15 snaps, can you give me 3 catches for 36 yards? And if each catch is 12 yards, you're getting a first down, you're moving the sticks. Like that's what Kelly's saying. Like it's going to be impactful to where when he's on the field, it's like, who is that guy? I don't know that I'm expecting some type of massive career day, but Trey'Dez was on the field for 3 snaps against Ole Miss, and one of them was a touchdown. So there's a serious role there for a guy with that body and skill set, especially because it's unlike any other pass catcher you have that you're playing right now anyway.
I mean, I don't know of any other 6'7" receivers in the SEC.
And Kamorian Pimpton but he's playing tight end also.
Yeah.
At LSU. It's hard to find those guys, man. It's why I do think there's significance to him playing, because it is something different for a defense to account for. Like you started it by talking about Xavier and Aaron Anderson, but they're so comparable, Mm-hmm. It's tough to have them both on the field at the same time. But so this gives you something different for a defense to look at and to prepare for. So we'll see how the Tigers do, and if Trey'Dez Green does in fact make an impact Saturday night up there in Fayetteville. All right, brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they do shutters as well. I was talking with texting with Brandon Holly earlier today. Nice. He's a good dude, man. Brandon and Adrian are awesome people. We tell you about Relief Windows and the beautiful windows, the entry doors, the hardy plank, the vinyl siding, but really with Relief Windows, the difference is their people. And that's not just a line. It's not a throwaway. It's true. I mean, Brandon has expectations for every person within that organization, and everyone lives up to them, from the measure techs, the installers, the people who are at the office, who answer the phone and make sure everything runs properly on a day-to-day basis. It's just the standard. It's the expectation that you're going to have an exceptional customer service experience when you call Relief Windows. Listen, I say it all the time. If you're shopping price, if you're just shopping to get quotes to see who's going to be the cheapest, then don't call Relief Windows. I'm saving you and them time, because they will never be the cheapest. It's just not their business model. But if you want beautiful products, an exceptional customer service experience, service after the sale, where they actually have a true service department, not their measure techs that'll come out and service. They have people that all they do is service their customers. That's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Mets are beating the Dodgers 3-1. How you feel about
that? The wheels are about to fall off for the
You think
Mets.
so?
Yeah. I do.
What you mean?
I think the Dodgers are going to win the series. They're going to win the series.
They're up 3-1. You think it's going to fall off in this game?
Yeah, in this game.
Why?
It's early. I think second inning. What is it? Yeah, second inning. And the starter for the Mets stinks right now. Just do a pass ball, run scored. And the Dodgers have Flaherty going, who's good. Gave up a homer to the polar bear.
He's pretty good.
And he's not bad either. Yeah, so I don't know. Look, I would love for the Mets to. I would like to see a Mets-Yankees. Personally,
you want to see that Subway series, Subway joint.
I like the Mets. I like
saw
the
that
Yankees
in 2000.
Too. Yeah,
that went okay for the good guys.
Mike Piazza behind the dish for the Mets.
It's good times.
Who?
It was fun winning back-to-back titles in 4 and 5 years. That was fun. And then Steinbrenner was like, "Before I die, I'm just going to go buy more." And so then they just started buying Giambi and A-Rod and
Clemens,
Randy Johnson. No, Clemens was part of the
He was on
championship
that
teams.
team?
Yeah, he was already there. But it was Kevin Brown. He jumped the shark. It was just like he knew he was going to die. He's like, got to get as many before I die. And it was just every year. It was just the high price. But that dynasty in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a lot of farm players, and then key veterans like Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez, Scott Brocious.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jeter and Bernie and Jorge and Pettit. I mean, a lot of those guys were their farm guys. I mean, they built that team the right way. So it's one of the reasons I was excited back in 2017 when they went to the ALCS and they they lost to Houston, and that was the banging on the trash cans year. But I wasn't super bummed because it felt like they were early and they had the core. The bummer is now here you are 7 years later and they haven't gotten over the hump, and you feel like that window is closing. That's what gives you a little bit of apprehension. We'll see what they do. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here Fridays, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan for Whiskey and Wine as soon as the game goes final with LSU and Arkansas. Come join us at Don Juan in Town Center. If you can't be there, join us on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube right now, thank you. Please subscribe, smash that like button, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we go live or post a new video. We'd appreciate it. All right, it's After Further Review. Let's wrap up hour number 2 with Ask Ryan. Got a question you can ask Theriot anything about anything. Get it in now. Email us, tweet us, or text us. It's After Further Review.
AFR.
My guy Darren James was down in Florida earlier this week speaking at a conference because, you know, when you're on the Wall Street Journal's Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America, number 13 in the country, number 1 in Louisiana, yeah, a lot of people are interested in how you do things and how you're so successful. And so Darren gets to go all over the country and speak at different real estate conferences. He was down in Florida doing that earlier this week, but doesn't stop him from working. My guy is a grinder, and I'm telling you, if you need to sell your home, no one is going to work harder to get your home sold faster for more money than Darren James. Check him out online. Most user-friendly website in real estate, agent225.com, agent225.com, or you can call Darren, 335-7666. That's his cell number, 335-7666. Again, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Hey, listen, you could try to sell your house, go the for sale by owner route. 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. Save yourself time and money with Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. Don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Get to Ask Ryan to wrap up the hour. You got a question for Theriot, ask him anything about anything. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Oh, I got a text earlier today from Chef Layton over at Supper Club. Guess what?
They got a new dessert.
No. Stone crabs are back. First shipment today at Supper Club. If season opened 3 days ago in Florida, stone crab season opened 3 days ago in Florida, they got stone crabs back on the menu at Supper Club. So come get them while they last. Hey, tonight they're full. I hate to tell you that. But tomorrow, if you're looking for a place to watch the game, at Supper Club, they actually are going to put the game on the big projector behind the bar. So you can go have an incredible meal. Stone crabs, amazing steak. Oh, the veal parm over there is so good, too. Oh, my God. The sea bass. Oh, and you can watch a game. Get your reservation, supperclubbtr.com. Supperclubbtr.com.
The only thing scary about the deals at Bayou Ford is if you miss out on them, like $15,000 off F-150. Bayou Ford has $15,000 off Ford F-150. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Join us at Pro Dreams in Mandeville for our special event, A Day of Champions. Meet LSU National Championship winning head coaches Jay Johnson, Skip Bertman, and Paul Maneri. Don't miss your chance to purchase authentic sports memorabilia, autographed by the champions themselves. It's the perfect opportunity to celebrate LSU baseball and take home a piece of history. Visit pro-dreams.com to get your tickets. See you there.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
This is SportsCenter.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Monday. His teammates think Lamar Jackson could win MVP, but I'll tell you why I agree with them. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock! Go! You can't handle the
Riot Radio Hour.
Let's do that again.
Guess who's back again? I want some more.
The Riot Radio Hour.
Well, let's start the insanity. Giddy up.
With Matt Moscona and Ryan Theriot.
Let me find out your wine specs to
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Yo,
bruh.
All right, we got a lot to get to. Should the Saints fire Dennis Allen?
No.
Oh.
Not right now.
Okay. We're going to get to that in 12 minutes. We also have to get our full LSU-Arkansas preview and prediction. Ask Ryan still ahead. But every Friday, right here, we do our Pick'em segment. So, guessing no guess.
Not this week. Not this week. Working towards next week.
We ever gonna have one again?
Yeah. We'll have one. We'll have one time. I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one this year.
I'm also so happy that this is back. Is this the old one, Muse, or is this the old one modified for now?
It's the old one modified for now because, as you can imagine, the quality of the old ones that I've found are not good.
I've heard them.
So I went with this.
I'm happy for it.
Okay.
As I've mentioned, this is nostalgic for me. This is the ESPN college football theme song that they used many years ago, in the 90s, for that ESPN Prime. It was always a 6:45 kickoff. LSU played it so many times on ESPN. ESPN2 had an 8 p.m. kickoff, and this was Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten. I mean, this was LSU upsetting Florida in 1997 when the goalpost fell. Cecil Collins, that era. Troy Twilley against Auburn, 1995. Like this was the music. This was the soundtrack to that era. I love it so much. And ESPN got away from it. They started doing things like "Remember Me for Centuries." Remember that? They play that. You know what I'm talking about? And you hear that 1,000 times on a football Saturday, and then you just became so resentful of the song. I'm just so happy they brought this back.
It's a good song.
Look, a lot of people would say, hey, listen, the Big Ten on CBS theme song is the best college football theme song. And in a vacuum, I might agree with you. But that's the Big Ten's now. The SEC is back where it belongs. ABC, ESPN, and we're bringing back the theme song that was the soundtrack of my childhood Saturdays. I shouldn't say childhood, but my adolescent and teenage and college year childhood. I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. As you should be.
All right, we got 10 games to pick. Paulie, how did we do last week? See that graphic? Flash it up there. Scone went 7-3. Theriot 7-3. We have a duel. Okay, so overall, I'm 38-27. You're 42-23. I tell you, man.
I didn't feel good about last week either.
Well, where did we, Paulie, do you have the games that we disagree? I know I had Ole Miss, you had LSU. You can say shame on me, whatever. I picked the better team. It just didn't work out. You can never call me a homer. What? Ole Miss is a better football team. Like, let me rephrase, because I know everyone's going to throw their hands. Although that's why they play of course that's why they play the game. But Ole Miss was favored in Tiger Stadium. The spot favored LSU. It's the same. It's a reverse situation of this week, where LSU is the better team than Arkansas, but the situation favors Arkansas. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Paulie, what were the disagreements? Where else did we disagree?
So your disagreements were Theriot was right on Penn State and LSU.
USC led the whole friggin' game, and they pissed it away at the end of regulation and lost in overtime. I did have USC plus 3.5, so I won money on that game, but it pisses me off that I lost it here. Anyway, go ahead. What else?
And so you got Theriot on Oregon and Iowa State.
That's right. Was that the only one?
Yeah, all the other ones y'all got.
Okay, got it. All right, here we go. We'll start. So I'm 4 games behind him overall. It was interesting because 2 weeks ago, where are we?
8. You were 8. You picked up 4.
I think it was 7 games. It was bad.
You picked up 4 in 1 week.
2 weeks ago was great for me and a bloodbath for you, and I made up some ground. Yeah. So we actually got a contest here now. All right. Tonight in the Big 12, Oklahoma State is at BYU.
BYU.
What happened to Oklahoma State? What happened to Mike Gutt? What happened to Ollie Gordon?
Yeah, and NIL happened.
Alan Bowman. What happened to these guys?
NIL happened to those guys.
I mean, they used to sling it around and be really good off. And they kind of, I'm not gonna say they stink, but I'm BYU's undefeated. Look, man, I was on Kansas State when they played at BYU, and the end of the first half, it was like the ghost of John. What's the guy's name? The Mormon guy, John. What's his name? Brigham Young. No, who's the other guy? John Smith. What's his name? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. John Smith.
John Smith. Mm-hmm. Like the ghost of John Smith just came down and like, woo, put a spell on Kansas State.
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, it was like touchdown, turnover, all like 30 seconds. I'm like, what in the hole? What just happened?
What in the Holy Ghost is going on
What in the Holy Ghost of John Smith just happened? I'm not starting a holy war here. I'm not saying John Smith's holy. I don't care if you're a Mormon or not. Don't send me your complaint emails or texts. I'm not interested in any of them. If you do, I'm going to tell you to kick rocks.
We're not interested.
Losers. Miami at Louisville.
Ooh,
Miami's been living dangerous.
They have.
I think I'll kick their toe. I'll stub their toe somewhere.
I know, and I think it's going to be here. What time is this game?
It's 11 a.m.
Ooh, man. Give me Miami.
I'm going to go Miami, too. It's like I'm not going to go against them yet, but they're going to lose somewhere along the way. This might be the one. All right, Nebraska at Indiana.
Give me Nebraska.
Okay. We'll go head-to-head here. I'll go Indiana. Hoosiers at home. I like Kurt Cignetti. I'll go with the Hoosiers. We'll go head-to-head. I might come back and go against you on Miami, too. We'll see. Auburn at Missouri.
I'll take Missouri.
I'm a little surprised you're going Missouri. Why?
I think they're better.
Last time we saw Missouri got their heads kicked in by Texas A&M 41-10. I don't know what's wrong with that offense over at Missouri. I just think Auburn stinks. They don't have a quarterback, so I'll take Missouri at home as well. This is an interesting one. South Carolina at Oklahoma. How about this? South Carolina is a 1-point road favorite at Oklahoma. Stinky line. Muse, is that a stinky line of the week? South Carolina being favored at Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I know.
That smells to high heaven.
What time is that game? It's a night game?
No. Is it 3 o'clock? Or is that 11 a.m.?
I think it's that weird 11:45 game on the SEC network.
I'm gonna pick South Carolina. I'm picking South Carolina.
That is 11:45, yeah. It is the stinky game, isn't it?
Oklahoma's quarterback is terrible.
I know. So is South Carolina's. And Oklahoma's defense is good, and Oklahoma's at home. I'm just checking because we had to do our picks for the station. And I think I picked Oklahoma, but I'm about to pick South Carolina. I'm trying to go to see how much thought we actually put. Yeah, I did pick Oklahoma. You're going who?
I'm picking South Carolina.
All right, give me South Carolina as well. Star next to that one. Colorado at Arizona.
Colorado.
I'm going to go Arizona at home. I think that line's 2.5, something like that. I'm going to go Arizona at home. I like Coach Prime. I want him to get the bowl eligibility. Arizona. Kentucky at Florida.
Kentucky.
I will take the Gators at home. I'm not pumped about DJ Lagway, the freshman, against that Kentucky defense. I just think Kentucky is not good. They're a total fraud. People got high on their horse about Kentucky because they played Georgia close and then beat Ole Miss. But I just don't think Kentucky's very good. I'll take Florida in the swamp. So we'll go head-to-head on that. Georgia at Texas. Show ends at 6.
I think Georgia's going to win.
I'm taking Georgia, and I'm confidently taking Georgia. Not just in the points, I'm taking Georgia to win the football game outright. We've talked about this. Phil Steele was here last hour as well. What did he say the best offense they played this year was? UTSA. The best offense that Texas has played is the University of Texas San Antonio. Their defense has been impressive, but they have not faced anything like what they're going to face with Georgia. And Georgia had a great day offensively last week against Mississippi State. Defense led up in the second half. I think that was total look-ahead spot. We saw Georgia go off in the second half against Alabama. I think this is the biggest test Texas will have. Georgia's battle-tested. And you mean to tell me Kirby Smart gets to go to his players and say, guess what? You're an underdog. They think you can't win this game. Come on. Gobble up them points with Georgia.
Gobble them up.
You're going to win it, too. What about Bama at Tennessee?
Give me Tennessee.
We are going to agree on those two marquee games. I'm a little surprised at that. But what's your feeling on that game?
I think that place is going to be crazy. I don't like Alabama's defense at all, and Tennessee's quarterback can sling it, and he can run the ball. Milroe's going to do something stupid.
Nico in SEC play, Nico Iamaleava, has stunk in Tennessee in SEC play. And I thought maybe it was just on the road because he did struggle at Oklahoma. But at home against Florida last week, he wasn't very good either. I think he's fighting it a little bit right now. But the biggest difference in this game is the fact that Tennessee actually has a defense. Alabama doesn't. I think Tennessee at home is going to move the ball, going to have success moving the ball against an Alabama defense that's not good. And I don't think Bama's well coached. Kane Womack defensively doesn't know what he's doing. Kalen DeBoer is way in over his head, as we've talked about. I mean, it was comical last week, the end of the first half against South Carolina. They were fortunate to get out of that game with a win. Now you got to go on the road, rivalry game. That place is going to be bat bleep crazy. Yeah. Look ahead spot last week for Tennessee, even though they were playing Florida. Yeah. Give me Tennessee to win this game outright. Send Bama to their second loss. And I can't wait till Bama comes to Baton Rouge and their third loss is hung on them by LSU. That will be it. You thought Bama's burning against Vandy was good? Let Bama lose to Tennessee, then come to Baton Rouge and lose. Hold it.
Oh, it's over.
Your boy's going to break the internet if that happens. All right, LSU-Arkansas.
Give me the Tigers.
Homer.
Give me the Tigers.
I'll make my pick in a little bit. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you by Optimize, GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. You know, when you live in Louisiana, storms and power outages, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. With Optimize, you want to be prepared when the when happens. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. One of the great things about Optimize is they give you so much control throughout the process. They have turnkey installation. Remember, you can't just go buy a generator. There has to be permitting. You have to get the electric company involved, all that stuff. They do everything turnkey. You don't have to worry about anything. They have a price quote guarantee. The price they give you, that they quote you, that's it. You're not going to see added fees or anything added on later. The price they quote you is the price. And then also they have low down payments. You have $600, down payment as low as $600. They can work out financing for any budget to keep you, the consumer, in control. It's optimized. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Call for that guaranteed quote price at Optimize. Go to GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Okay, it's After Further Review. I think Theriot and I disagree on this. Should the Saints fire Dennis Allen? We'll do it next, AFR.
AFR.
I'll do a big shout out to Kyron Lacey. LSU wide receiver.
Yeah, good player.
Game-winning touchdown. Got to interview him yesterday on AFR, courtesy of Duplessis Builders. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net. Derek Duplessis, LSU alum, proud Tiger, did an NIL deal with Kyron Lacey and with Harlem Berry. Love to see that. NIL done the right way. A great local business, supporting the local team, the local athletes, also getting a benefit. So part of the deliverables for Duplessis with Kyron was that Kyron would come on this show 4 times. We've done it twice now, and certainly yesterday's interview, talking about the game-winning touchdown catch, the walk-off touchdown catch in overtime. Better believe it was a big spot to do it. But, of course, if you're thinking about building a pool, this is the time to do it. This is the time. Derek is very upfront about the timeline it'll take. I mean, you're talking a couple of months from concept to finish. Start that process today. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Your support.
You know, you look at this game and there was nothing complimentary about the game. In particular, early on in the game, we weren't really able to get anything going offensively. Defensively, you know, we allowed them to have too many long drives. And so therefore, in the first half, I think the time of possession was out of whack. It kind of got a little bit more balanced up as the game went along, but I think that's been a challenge for us. We're not winning the line of scrimmage on either side of the ball. I think that's a challenge for us right now. And so, look, we've got, you know, obviously a few days here before we have to play again. We'll go out to L.A. Next week, and we've got to find a way to put our guys in the best position to have some success, and we got to find a way to play better football.
Dennis Allen, after the Saints got walloped by the Denver Broncos 33-10. I got a guy in studio here that played professional sports, was on some good teams, and was on some bad teams as well. The big question everybody's asking now that you've lost 5 in a row, that hasn't happened since Sean Payton's last year. And not just that you've lost, you're starting to check off these historical boxes, right? One more time of allowing, if the Saints allow 25 points to the Chargers a week from Sunday, that'll match the franchise record for most consecutive games allowing 25. In 15 years in New Orleans, Sean Payton only lost by 20 at home twice in 15 years. Dennis Allen, Saints have now done it back-to-back weeks, actually within a span of 5 days. Like, you're starting to get to some historical significance, which begs the question, like, if they quit on Dennis Allen. Alvin Kamara was asked if the team is still supporting Dennis Allen. Here, let's do it. Short answer, but here's what he said.
That's not a question for me to answer. I don't got nothing for that. You said the team, like, as in the locker room? I mean, we're here. We go to work every day. We got to work. We just got to keep working and figure out what we got to do to put string wins together.
Okay. I hear that as someone who's never in a locker room, and he's asked, is the team supporting Dennis Allen? And you heard what he said. Like, he didn't say yes. He said, we got to find a way to string wins together. I read that as, hell no, we don't support Dennis Allen. Like, they know what's happening, and he's lost their trust and their confidence. You heard that. What do you think?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if it would have been we support him, he would have said that. I mean, he would have came out and defended his guy. That's the professional, nice way of not throwing your coach under the bus. You know, the interesting thing is, I mean, it's so many in football. You know, football is different than baseball. Baseball, it's always like one of the position coaches goes. You know, in football, it's like always seems like the head guy's the one that that takes it pretty hard.
Well, you mean like gets fired?
Yeah.
Well, the thing here is,
you don't see an offensive coordinator leave in the middle of a year.
Yeah, no, that happens. Like, they get fired. Yeah, like coaches will. I mean, I mentioned in 2015, the Saints fired Rob Ryan after they got blown out by Washington. Things had really started to deteriorate. They lost 47-17 or something like that, and they fired him. So I think that could happen. Here's the problem. Dennis Allen is the defensive coordinator. Like, I know Joe Woods has the title, but Dennis Allen's the one actually calling all the defensive plays and everything like that. He's not going to fire himself. So will management fire him? It doesn't seem like that's the case. So what do you think? Like, were you ever part of a situation where there was a managerial change in season?
Mm-mm.
Was there ever a situation where...
was I? When Dusty got fired? Or when... No, I was not.
Because you were on some bad teams in Chicago. You're on some good teams. You're on playoff teams in Chicago, but you're on bad teams too. Did it ever get to that point?
Yeah.
Like, what's it like internally whenever you have those really bad skids?
Oh, it's miserable. I mean, just going to the field, going to the complex, the facility, it's two totally different things, but it's the same in a sense of, like, you show up and you know that you're not going to win. Like, and you have nothing to play for, and you're just hoping to get to the end of the season as fast as you can. The manager, the coach is a dead man walking, basically. He's not going to be there the following year. You hear the boos. I mean, that was a thing in Chicago. You hear the boos, and you're out there trying, but it is not a fun, enjoyable scenario whatsoever.
So Kamara, you mentioned you hear the boos. So Kamara, after the game, was asked about the fans booing and then the fans leaving. This is what he said.
I'm going to get away from your question for a second and just say it's a couple of unacceptable things going on. One, our play is unacceptable. And two, the dome being empty or emptying out. I think I saw some fans leaving the second quarter. That's unacceptable. But I don't blame the fans. It's on us because they come to see us play and perform. And when we don't perform, that's the results you get. But I've never experienced that. And if I was a fan, I'd leave too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not good enough right now. For whatever reason, we got to figure it out.
I think the hardest part for guys like Kamara, Cam Jordan, some of these veterans, they were here for the good stuff, right? Like, they were here in the playoff runs, the NFC Championship, the division titles, where the Saints were a contender every year. And this is the first time for Alvin to experience something like this. Now, no, he was there for the 5 straight losses in Sean's last year, but this is different. To be at 2-5 through week 7 is a totally different feeling. To know, like, you haven't even hit your bye yet, and your season's cooked. Like, you're done. They're playing out the string. So it's very unfamiliar for these veteran guys. For the young guys, they don't know any different. This is the only thing that they've experienced in the NFL. So I look at this just as a very tricky situation because it's unfamiliar for everybody around the organization, but it's part and parcel with what happened when you maintained and tried to continue the previous era where you maintained Pete Carmichael and Dennis Allen and a lot of the veteran players. You just try to transition everything seamlessly. And clearly, the point that I've made for a couple of years about Dennis Allen is like not every lieutenant's meant to be a general. He's a great defensive coordinator. His defense is playing like crap right now, but he's a terrible head coach. And we have a large enough sample now. He's pushing 80 games as a head coach. He's 26-51 as a head coach. So I look at this and I go, there's nothing really still to be answered. You know what I mean?
Right.
About Dennis Allen. Like, we know what he is. So what do you do? Like, do you make the change now in season? Do you wait for the bye? Do you wait to the end of the season? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I don't. I would say bang him now, and start the reboot process. But you're really not going to get any of that until the offseason. Like, whoever you bring on is going to be just there. I don't see how that really does anything. You keep him there. Plus, I want him to keep losing. I mean, I would like him to lose every game from here on out and see if we can draft as high as they possibly can. So no, that's why I would like to keep him. But you don't see like an opportunity for the thing to turn around. You've got
this year.
Yeah, this year's. Yeah, you've got your quarterback's injured, and even when he was healthy, wasn't great. There's not a whole lot of playmakers on the team. I mean, it wasn't there. But look, this isn't new. We knew this last year. I mean, like when they decided to keep him last year, they should have fired his ass last year. I mean, they should have cleaned house, all of them, from management all the way down, started the thing over. It's too many relationships, too many friendships that are there. Like, that's the issue. The issue is not trying to win the football game. It's gotten too close. And they have not had enough success to justify that in recent years. And so you got to blow the whole thing up. I'm not saying it's easy to do. Doing it in the middle of the season, though, sucks for those players. I can promise you that.
But could I argue we're going to go, but could I argue to the contrary that doing it in the middle of the season might actually inject some life? Like sometimes sometimes you get an interim bump, right? And it's just a different voice and you can refocus. I mean, look, we saw this. I know it's college to pro, it's not the same thing, but in 2016, they fired Les Miles at the end of September. Ed Ogeron came in, and immediately there was some new energy and new life around that football team. Now, I understand it's college, it's the NFL. It's not the same thing. I do understand that. But a year ago, Antonio Pierce was named the interim with the Raiders, and they had success. He ended up getting the job. Now, that doesn't look like that was a great decision. We'll see. The sample size is small. But sometimes maybe it is an acknowledgement from the front office to say this is unacceptable and we're trying to find a way to win now.
Who on that staff would be the guy that would come in?
That's the great question.
I mean, it's not like there's some superstar sitting there that.
I mean, there's two options that you'd look at. I mean, Joe Woods, who's the defensive coordinator. Usually you would elevate a coordinator, right? So Joe Woods is the defensive coordinator, then Clint Kubiak is the offensive coordinator. And so would you give the young offensive guy from the McVay-Shanahan tree an opportunity? And we see it. I mean, we see young guys who have that offensive background become head coaches, and maybe it would take someone youthful and energetic to an offensive-minded instead of the defensive-minded coach, the opportunity to get it going. And look, if you blew out Dennis Allen, you still got Joe Woods there, who is the defensive coordinator in title. He's not calling the defense. Maybe it's an opportunity to get him, but it would be a more seamless transition because you have that guy still in place.
We just saw it in Miami, the Marlins. I mean, it's all of them, every one of you guys, from the top down, out of here. Let's start this thing over. Let's reboot. I don't think it's just the coaches. I mean, I think front office, whole deal. It's too close, too many friendships, too many, backroom dinners. No, we need to try to win ball games.
But it goes back to the ownership too. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, Gail Benson does not have an heir, and so the succession plan of the organization involves Dennis Lauscha and Mickey Loomis. I mean, these people are part of the succession plan of the organization when she dies. Like, do you fire? If you didn't, then what do you do with the succession? Like, it's a very complicated thing. But to your point, I think that is part of the problem when you're too close. Part of the problem is, like, Mickey Loomis does not have any fear of retribution. I'm not saying anybody should go to work fearful of losing their job. Like, that's a crappy way to go to work anywhere. But at any job, there should be a standard of expectation. And when expectations aren't met, yes, there should be consequences for those expectations not being met. And in a high-stakes business like a professional sports franchise, there is much given, but there is also much asked. And when that is not met, people get fired. So,
yeah, I mean, it's yes. Like, whose decision is it to hire the folks? Okay, that's where the problem starts.
If there weren't so many layers to it, specifically in New Orleans, the decision is easy. It feels like this were any other franchise, the decision would be made and he'd be gone. Mm-hmm. Like, you wouldn't be going through this charade anymore. But there's so much interwoven connective tissue with all the layers of the organization that's very hard to unwind, which makes this complicated. And I don't know that it gets any better here in a week from Sunday when they go to L.A. to play the Rams. Or excuse me, to play the Chargers. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Come back, give you our LSU-Arkansas pick. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Tell you that every single day. And we had T-Bob over at Rouse's, as he is every Friday, and was telling you about those great specials that they have. You can get to the website, Rouse's.com. You can hit the weekly specials tab at the website or on the app, and you can find out more about all the weekly specials that they have. But remember also, over at Rouse's, they're always trying to find ways to save you money on your groceries. So you can get on by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Right now, you can get a whole rump roast. This is Chairman's Reserve USDA Angus Choice Beef Boneless Whole Rump Roast, just $2.98 a pound. That's a savings of $3.51 a pound. Go feed your whole family affordably, and the Rouse's butchers will cut it and wrap it for free. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
You see me, I eat, sleep, issue, talk rap. You see that 98 Mercedes on TV, I bought that. I had some felony charges, I bought that.
Tigers headed up to Arkansas, LSU against the Hogs Saturday night, 6 p.m. at Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. By now, you know the last 4 in this matchup have all been decided by 3 points. On the button, on the nose. It never really seems to matter. The old cliche about you throw out the records and everything. The truth is, with this matchup, Arkansas always elevates, and LSU either plays them flat or plays down. Over the years with this series, regardless of what you think of it as a rivalry or not, Arkansas does. And so they play up, and the spot has generally favored Arkansas. That Friday after Thanksgiving that they loved, that everybody here resented. And even after they moved it, it got moved to the week after the Bama game. So LSU was always sky high for Bama, and then it was Arkansas. Either after a really disappointing loss or, and the elation of a win or whatever the case may be. This has always been a tricky spot for LSU, and here it is again. It's a tricky spot where you have this incredible win in overtime, this dramatic win against Ole Miss, and now you got to go on the road. And Arkansas is coming off a bye. This is a 4-2 Arkansas team that, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I don't want to say they should be 6-0 because you would be if you should be, but they're not. They turn the ball over. They have a quarterback that's turnover prone. That's why they lost to Oklahoma State. And quite honestly, it's why they lost to A&M as well. But they had opportunities to win those games. So this is a really tricky spot for LSU. Hunt Palmer wrote a story earlier this week over at LouisianaSports.net where he put some numbers behind this. And you can talk all you want about like the boot and all the silliness and what's a rivalry and whatever. But ultimately, when you look at these numbers, Hunt spells it out. Over the last 6 recruiting cycles, Arkansas has an average class ranking of 26th, LSU 6th. Over that time, LSU's landed 11 5-star players. Arkansas, 0. LSU has nearly triple the amount of 4-star signees over that period, 85 to 32. Yet, each of the last 4 games have been decided by exactly 3 points. Arkansas plays up against LSU. I mean, you can talk about it from an athlete's perspective at a high level, but it's human nature. LSU plays down, Arkansas plays up. And I think we're going to see the same thing on Saturday night.
I mean, for the reasons that you laid out, when the games were, that can have a lot to do with them LSU playing down. But let me say this about this season in particular. The difference for me is the LSU defense. The loss at SC, there was some opportunity to recover some turnovers. They didn't happen. The ball just didn't quite bounce.
Like literally, the ball didn't bounce.
LSU's way.
Yes.
Like really didn't bounce. But we've seen the last few games in this season so far. This team takes advantage. They cause turnovers. It will happen with a young quarterback or quarterbacks that are prone to turnovers. I think you're going to see the Tiger defense take advantage of that again and constantly getting better and better and better. Guys in the right spot, guys not missing assignments, which is something new. We haven't seen that in the last few years, but I don't think it's going to be that way. I think from a preparation standpoint, you're going to start to see those tides kind of turn a little bit.
Listen, as close as these have been, LSU has really owned the series. From 2006, which was an amazing game in Little Rock, to 2015, which Arkansas blew out LSU in Baton Rouge. It was embarrassing. They split those 10 games 5-5. Since then, LSU has won 7 of 8. The only one that Arkansas won was when Ed was the lame duck coach, the game that went to overtime 16-13, a game actually that Garrett Nussmeier ended up playing the bulk of that game in his true freshman season. So even though they've been close, LSU still won 7 of 8. I just look at Arkansas coming off a bye at home. They're going to be sky high and emotional. I think this is going to be a game very similar to last week where LSU's the better team like Ole Miss was the better team, but sometimes on the road it's hard to take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah.
Ole Miss dropped an 81-yard touchdown pass. Ole Miss missed a 32-yard field goal. Ole Miss got an interception at the LSU 13, came away with no points. Now, you credit LSU because they made plays to force some of the – now, you didn't make no play to force the drop pass, but you made plays to force some of the other things. But you were right there from that game not going your way. And you needed some pretty dramatic stuff late. Mm-hmm. I think it's the same type of game, except it's just a role reversal. I think LSU is the team that forces the issue, that's playing from a position of power and authority throughout. It's just when they have the opportunity to put them away, you got to do it. Yeah. Because if you don't, then you're in a situation like Ole Miss was a week ago, where LSU's got the ball with 3 minutes to go, staring at 75 yards to go tie and force overtime, and LSU made the plays and Ole Miss couldn't get a stop, and then Ole Miss loses in overtime. So LSU needs to avoid that situation Saturday in Fayetteville. I will say, I've talked about it all week, Taylon Green, I think, is the wild card here. When he is good, he's been really good. When he's not good, it's like what happened against Oklahoma State, where he becomes turnover prone. He'll fumble the football and he'll throw interceptions. LSU has been exceptional at taking the ball away. If this defense can give the offense a couple of short fields and quick scores, I think that's how a lead can multiply. And if you make Arkansas play from behind, I know this sounds kind of obvious, but their strength is Taylon Green and Jaquindon Jackson running the football. If you get them out of their comfort zone and make them throw the football, they don't have the receivers like Ole Miss to really challenge you the way Ole Miss did. So that's how you can really find a comfortable win if you can build a lead and get them out of what they want to do. So here's hoping that's what LSU can do. Get an early lead, maybe get to a 2-score lead in the first half, take Arkansas out of what they want to do, and that's how you can push forward toward a win. I'd pick this game 23-20. What I just laid out is what I hope happens, and I hope LSU cruises to a 2-score win and it's a breather. I've just seen too many of these to believe that's how it's going to go. So, I picked a 23-20 LSU. I do think LSU's the better team. Just like last week, I picked Ole Miss because I thought Ole Miss was just the better team. I get the situation heavily favors Arkansas, which is why I think this is a close game. But I do like LSU to end up to win a close game late. You want to pick a score?
I'm gonna go 24-13.
Okay, so comfortable win. Look, if LSU's defense goes on the road and holds Arkansas to 13 points, I will be over the moon, because that'll show great progress week to week by this LSU defense. And you mentioned the SC game, and the one big difference in that SC game is they have very clearly figured out at this point their rotation in the secondary. Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but you didn't have Zy Alexander in that game. Sage Ryan was playing boundary corner against USC. How different that is now, where you've got Gilbert and Ryan, two veterans, playing safety. You got Stamps and Zy at corner. You got Major Burns playing the star. You got a bunch of dudes that have been in college for 4 and 5 years playing in your secondary now. You're just not seeing the coverage bust, which is a great thing. That needs to travel this weekend for sure. See if the Tigers can get it. The way I've said it all week, man. Close your eyes, pinch your nose, just get the hell out of there with a win by any means necessary and get on to the next. Got a big challenge next week in College Station against Texas A&M. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Christmas is coming. Holiday time is when a lot of guys like to pop the question.
Yeah.
When did you propose? You proposed during the season, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
No, when did you propose?
I proposed in the off season. I don't know when I proposed.
I proposed around Easter.
Yeah, it was in the fall.
If you're thinking of buying that diamond, go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You will always only see the finest natural diamonds in their case. No lab or man-made diamonds. It's ain't a science experiment.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
You'll get beautiful lab diamonds from the you will never see a lab diamond. You'll get beautiful natural diamonds from the finest diamond mines in the world at Lee Michaels, and every diamond is hand inspected by a family member before it goes into the case. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Got one thing left to do. We'll wrap up a little Ask Ryan. Get your questions in for Theriot. You can ask anything about anything. Mets beating the Dodgers 9-2 there, Mr. The Riot. What happened to the wheels are about to come off?
They
for
did
the Mets,
come off.
Huh?
They came off.
They did.
For the
Flaherty.
Dodgers.
Woo.
Yeah.
All right. Ask Ryan. Wrap up the show next.
After further review.
Y'all, tomorrow is the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree over at Clegg's on Seagan. We tell you about this every year. It's a really cool event. It's only the Seagan Lane Clegg's from 8 to noon. Clegg's on Seagan from 8 to noon. It's the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree. So if you've been thinking about a citrus tree, any type of rare type of tree, you're looking for that for your yard, for your outdoor space, this is the day to go get it. For every Baton Rouge Green approved tree that's sold at Clegg's on Seagan from 8 to noon, Clegg's will make a donation to Baton Rouge Green. So great opportunity to go benefit an organization that does great things to beautify our city and also, of course, beautify your yard with a great tree over at Clegg's Nursery. Again, Saturday, 8 until noon, only at the Clegg's on Seagan. It's the Baton Rouge Green Tree Spree. Get on by. 4 locations, buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here. Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan mañana as soon as the game goes final with LSU and Arkansas. We'll be live for Whiskey and Wine. You can join us at Don Juan. If you can't be at Don Juan, join it and done the day it was able in 2012. He's the best defensive player ever to come through this program. And the most decorated defensive player ever to come through this program. So, yes, I mean, I think there's some they're stockpiling. But LSU doesn't retire numbers. They retire the jerseys so people can still wear those numbers. But they never issue a 9 or 5 again. Imagine somebody running out there. Like, Graham Mertz wearing 15 at Florida is comical. Like, why anybody is ever wearing Tebow's number again over there is stupid. No one's ever going to wear 9 or 5 here again. They shouldn't anyway. All right, that'll do it for us. Muse, Paulie, thanks. Hey, if you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Podcast or YouTube, catch everything on demand. Y'all have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 3.
After further review.
As we get on down the road, remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. Like maybe if Mr. The Right here decides to take John to supper club for dinner on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to be beautiful in there.
It is.
But it's dimly lit. Might be a little tough to see the menu.
Mood lighting.
When Papa over there's been reaching for some readers.
I had my readers yesterday.
You got to get the phone out and turn the light up, flash it on your phone to see the menu. You got to pull one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Blake Williamson has a solution for you.
He's got a lot of solutions.
He does.
LASIK, lens replacement.
Custom lens replacement, PRK. No matter your age or your refractive issue, Evo ICL. Evo ICL is an implantable contact lens. It's a fully reversible procedure, sort of as an alternative to LASIK. Very affordable. Check it out. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in a new 2024 Ram 1500 truck for only $32,898. $32,898 for a new Ram 1500 truck. All new Bayou Automotive vehicles come with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary.